Oh boy. Well, gentlemen, I tell you what, I think it's safe to say 2024 Pro Wrestling is off to a very hot start. We now have WrestleKingdom 18 in the books, and New Year's Dash has foretold what is to be the new beginning for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that being said, it's good to see y'all once again and welcome everybody to this simple take where we once again go back through and review WrestleKingdom 18 New Year's Dash and the fallout to come too. Of course, I'm always happy to be back here with my friends in pro wrestling, Casey Gallagher, Xero, Kuzon, and we'll see if Mike X here joins us here shortly. Guys, good to see you once again. I'll go around the horn and get y'all's just initial impressions of what you saw across the 2 year beginning that sets the pace for New Japan Pro Wrestling as we enter their 52nd year. Casey, I'll start with you. How was Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash for you in general, simply put?
I was just happy to see Naito get that roll call. Like, goddamn, he's been working towards this for, 10 years now at minimum?
Yeah, we look at his whole career, I would say at least 18. But yeah, we'll go with 10, considering when he first came into Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. So that had to be one of the most cathartic things for him, and I was so glad to see him finally get it. Attempted interference notwithstanding.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about that here momentarily. Sarah, good to see you once again. What's your initial afterthoughts now that Wrestle Kingdom 18 and New Year's Dash are in the books? How was it for you?
The main event was so the show overall it was good. Like it was so good that like I bought a Wrestle Universe. So his
All right then.
but like wow.
Well,
Stolen.
someone else's gimmick, but Billy Gunn was involved once in New Japan, so I'll allow it. But continue,
But
Zero.
yeah, like the show. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it didn't feel like a Wrestle Kingdom show. The only reason why I said that is because comparing it to like different years or whatever, or like just in general, this was kind of, in my opinion, the weakest one. It didn't really feel like it was a Wrestle Kingdom. It felt like a normal tour date show for real, if I'm being honest. But there was still like a few but there was still like two matches I really enjoyed, but we'll get to it.
That's fair. And again, I do think when you look at the landscape of New Japan Pro Wrestling, focusing on the next generation to lead this company into the future, I think that's a fair initial impression based on what has been the status quo for Wrestle Kingdom in the past in the Tokyo Dome. Considering this is the first real normal one since, let's be honest here, post-pandemic style and restrained crowd effects in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just to put that slightly out there. Mike, good to see you once again here for the first time, actually part of the Simple Takes here for Pro Wrestler. So first up, I hope everything's well with you. And secondly, what's your initial takeaways from Wrestle Kingdom 18 and New Year's Dash?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. He muted.
Damn it, bro.
I figured it out.
I think
bro.
I think actions speak louder than words. He's like, no comment at the moment.
Well, I know for a fact currently he's having a big tear moment because he loved this show. He told me it was like one of the best shows he ever watched. And I know that for a fact,
I said sarcasm here, but since he wants to right now remain silent,
I'll tell you what I think of Wrestle Kingdom.
Go ahead, Kuzon. Yeah, let's get your initial thoughts.
Okay. Just as an overall, I have to agree with Xero to an extent. I definitely feel like I got a lot more fatigued and quite quickly this year, especially considering like I know for people watching this in America, it's a lot different for them because of time zones and stuff like that. For me, this started at 7:30. There was no way I was watching this live. No way whatsoever, right? And it's not because like I'm not a morning person. I've been doing gym work and stuff like that. I've got a schedule down and everything, so I had time to do this like afterwards. I could have watched this like an hour or two behind, and I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'll watch it tomorrow, so I can like skip through the stuff that I don't want to watch. I don't think I've used a 10+ second icon more than I have on any other pay-per-view at the moment. But I think that's just because I found it difficult to stick with a match that was going on, mainly the tag team matches this year. There were, even though like there might not be like a lot of them, there was only the junior tag, the House of Torture, and then there was the heavyweight tag, right?
Correct.
Are they the only tag
Heavyweight-
team matches?
Heavyweight and strong.
Yes, those are the only three tag matches. But yes, you're right. Both titles were on the line. That
Those were the matches that I skipped, and I was like, okay, cool. That's me for tag team for New Japan now, you know. But other than that, in terms of what the stories that they focused on, a big thumbs up. You know, near the end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think what's most important is when you culminate the biggest stories going into the Tokyo Dome. And as of late, regardless of pandemic outlook presentation or full-fledged presentation, the last few years has definitely been, I think, a focus on the Junior Heavyweight Championship. You have that grudge bout to settle a score or show who is the strongest and look for respect. And then, of course, you have the main event defining the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which has taken a different form of its own, if we're being honest, since its inception, especially since WrestleKingdom 15, when it fully came to fruition through Kota Ibushi. But yeah, it's one of those things where, again, you guys know I've watched every January 4th event up to WrestleKingdom each year. And of course, I look at the standard, but I look at Wrestle Kingdom 9, Wrestle Kingdom 12, Wrestle Kingdom 13, and then you had Wrestle Kingdom 17, which I thought was also a tremendous show. And I look at 17 versus 18, for example, and it's like each one felt different in their own way, and I don't think it was a bad thing, but I do think there were miscues that could have been better executed for, I feel, better time spent and a better flow. Because I'm not gonna lie, I literally stayed up because I'm a mammoth, called the thing live while I was sick as a dog, and thankfully I didn't have COVID, but I definitely had something to the point I almost passed out. To the point I used the House of Torture tag match just to recover from asphyxiation and come back for the Never Openweight Championship. Yeah, it was not an easy night for me, but I still pulled through because I'm that just dedicated. But
so
yeah,
what did you feel about
like
the
this
show
year
in general?
hit different. In general, simply put, I did enjoy it for what it was. I thought that I got everything I wanted out of it for what I was expecting, and it did up a lot more based on who I want to follow this year in New Japan Pro Wrestling. When I think about the exhibition of Yota Tsuji and Uyemura, I think about the pride set forth by Kazuchika Okada, Brian Danielson, and what's ahead for both of those men. I think about Zack Sabre Jr., what he's done with the NWA World Television Championship, and now he no longer has that, but now it seems like he's going in a different direction. And before he gets there, he wants to settle the dispute about who's the best technical wrestler on the planet. And overall, you couldn't ask for a better story ending than the man who's been asking for the roll call since being accepted in New Japan Pro Wrestling, considering the roots of him and Sonata. And again, this is me coming off of the New Year Noah show after watching Keno versus Manabu Soya, which to me was the main event more than Marufuji versus Kota Ibushi, because Ibushi was wrestling on 2 broken ankles. Crazy son of a bitch.
Jesus.
So it's one of those, yeah, I know, right? It's one of those things where it's like Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Stardom even, because I always watched the Stardom show too. They all gave me what I was looking for to set up 2023, but I think WrestleKingdom still could have gave me more and could have left some stuff off too. So I figured without further ado, with that simple impression and takeaway, let's just go ahead and get right into it. And again, Mr. Sign, if he wants to come back in here, he's more than welcome. Difficulties might be one of those days for all of us. So, as we know, we kick things off with the New Japan Ramble, and it is what it is. It's chaos, it's warfare, and of course, we had the Final Four set up. It was not the Final Four I was expecting, but for the most part, I think at least all of us got one, if not 2 people right. Great Khan and Toru Yano. Go figure.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's go!
Yano. The GOAT.
I'm really happy Yano got in there.
The future
Oh,
IWGP
God.
heavyweight champion, bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't put that out of the ether. Don't put
Nah,
that out of the
nah,
ether. Do you remember
What's
what
up?
happened with Naito
nah. I
and
have
Yano
to.
during the freaking G1? We
What's-
did get a
what
match.
scares
We got
me-
a full.
What scares me about that is he's actually skilled enough to be IWGP champion.
Yeah.
I know. That's terrifying. He's almost as dangerous as a wrestler as the blow-up doll. But anyway,
Mhm. The
oh
goat,
God.
bro.
Just ask Chase Owens.
Yeah.
As Hiromu Takahashi, I'm just saying. Speaking of which, Chase Owens, of course, set the pace for the New Japan Ramble KLPW qualifier. In the end, it was Great Khan. It was Yo, Tajimori, Toriyama. Not many surprises there, except for, well, a couple, including that Japanese announcer's worst nightmare brought back to life, Iska, and the Iron Glove apparently brought out concrete. I did not expect that. But for what it was fun. Simply put, it was subtle, it was fun. If you don't know New Japan, you learned some of the faces, you saw some of the faces of the past, and it's the only match that was pretty much going to be defined for New Year's Dash. I really don't have much more to say about this, so unless anyone else has something else to say, I think we'll just go into the main card, but I'll open the floor to y'all. Casey, you start.
It's simple, dumb fun. You don't need much else for an opener.
Right?
We should have had John
Go ahead,
Kasai show up.
Or that probably would be fitting.
My boy, bro.
I don't want to hear about Jun Kasai anymore, man. That dude needs to dude, I learned some crazy stuff that dude went through recently. Like, not recently, but I learned recently, some of the stuff he went through. That man spent so much money on the investors that he got for his company with World Japan.
You talking about
Jun Akiyama? No.
Ricky Choshu.
Ricky Joshu, yeah.
He's still
not Jun
alive?
Kasai. No. Wait.
I don't think so. No, I'm sorry. I've had that stuck in my head for a while because I've been learning about. I've been looking at a lot of Japanese wrestling over this past month. Yeah,
again, we're 14 days in and we've already had everything from the Great Sakuya to.
I've watched so much Tokyo Joshi.
Yeah.
And Pro Wrestling Noah.
I showed him Tokyo Joshi.
If I may ask real quick.
Yeah.
Who exactly is Miyu Yamashita? Is she in Stardom or whatever?
She is the Tokyo Joshi Princess of Princess Champions.
Yep,
yeah.
the queen of
Tokyo
the
Joshi Pro. Okay.
Tokyo Joe King.
She is an absolute threat to
Matt
society.
Cardona did not show up for the Rambo. Just saying, folks. Now that
Oh, that's him.
Something if Stephen Lauder and Matt Cardona showed up at the freaking New Japan Ramble. Maybe that's stuff in to come. But yeah, Miyashita, clean up the pink kick, and I definitely hope. I would love to see her challenge Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship. By the way, congratulations to Mayu Iwatani's successful defense against Siri at Tokyo City Hall. Great show, by the way, if y'all haven't watched it.
Definitely watch through some Tokyo Joshi. No, on this, on the Rambo thing, this felt like WrestleMania 17's Legends.
The gimmick battle royal.
The gimmick battle royal. It felt like that. I got those type of vibes from it, and they were definitely having fun with it a lot more than I think they were willing to let on, which I'm really happy with. It's really cool when you can see a lot of influence coming from DDT or Tokyo Joshi, any kind of silliness that from the humor of Japanese wrestling, because Japan don't really New Japan don't really do that other than Yano. Other than that, that's as much comedy as you're gonna get. But I'm happy that they're starting to let things looser near the lower card.
Yeah, and I feel like you need to do that just to give, the crowd a soft way of being drawn in, and, kind of give them a bit of that, uprise into, what they're waiting for towards the tail end. I know we'll talk much more about that when it comes to later after the card, because when Jeff Beecham joined me on the call, he basically felt the same way when he came in for the later half of the card, starting with the never openweight championship. So I think that's always been just the approach for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, I wonder how many more surprise cameras we're going to get here.
I was going to say, I think we found Mike's gimmick for the day.
He's told me he's gonna switch to his phone because I think he's trying to use his laptop's like new, and he's like, I can't figure any of these audio
Yeah,
signatures
I'm
out.
about to
What am
say
I
which
doing
one do you
here?
enable and allow. That's
Yeah.
fair, and you're fine. You're fine, Mike. All right, but yeah, and since the Ramble's inception, changing from the 6-man never open weight gauntlet, I think the Ramble is a better pre-show kickoff than the gauntlet for the 6-man title. So I kind of like that they go with this approach, and the Ramble actually has some value to it now when you consider that 4 men can actually move on from this for something of contention. And of course, we'll certainly talk about that here as we go into New Year's Dash. But the Ramble is what it is, and for me, it's just a matter of who shows up from where. But yeah, if Matt Cardona, if Jun Kasai, if freaking All Japan Pro Wrestling's former Triple Crown champion would have showed up here, that definitely would have been a WTF moment for me. Or heck, somebody from All Elite Wrestling or Cheeseburger showed up again. I kind of wish there was just more of that random surprise factor versus the legend show off, but the Iska one was probably my favorite, especially because Iska still tried to drag that commentator off. And even Taiji could have ripped his hands off of him.
Yeah, you won't work here no more.
You're coming with me, and you're not coming to the dojo. God. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get right into the main cards. He figures out his settings here, and if he wants to reflect more on the Ramble, he's more than welcome to. And you were talking about the tag matches, talking about how they kind of set their own presence that you maybe didn't feel, but maybe you can give a little more into that, Kuzon, as we talk about this, because when I look at the 3 tag matches, to your point, I do think this one had the most importance when you consider that TJP was the standout here, and then channeling some folklore from his culture, the Oswong, as we learned, throwing off.
I thought that was cool as hell.
Yeah, flowing off Clark Connor's and Drew Maloney's game, unlike something I've seen from TJP. This is the same guy that was Manic, by the way, folks, former X Division champion. As he and Francisco Akira got it done against the War Dogs, Clark Connors, and Driller Maloney. And for what this match was worth, I thought it was fairly decent, well-paced. The junior heavyweights always set the pace, as we know, at WrestleKingdom as late in the opener. And for what they did, they only did it for like 10 minutes. In the end, as we saw, Catch 2 and 2 were able to hit the double team finish in the end after spitting blood, I believe, into Clark Connors' face. I think Clark Connors is more routed than Driller Maloney. And Catch 2 and 2 proved that they are far from dead, still alive. They are once again IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So as I start with you, Kuzon, and as Mikey figures out his stuff, Kuzon, again, you talk about the impressions.
I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Don't worry. My technical issues are all over. Opera GX does not like StreamYard. Continue.
All right. Well, now we learned something new. Fair enough. Yeah, like a little bit of echo effect there.
Oh, you're echoing.
Anyway. Yeah, the speaker, I think, is being overheard for his microphone, so he probably needs to separate the sources. But that being said, we figured that out. Again, Kuzon, you talked about the impression that the tag matches kind of didn't give you, but as far as the 3, where did this one rank with you, and what did you think about TJP's resurgence into the Oswald that kind of led to the victory?
Okay, before that, do you want to talk about the new belts before you move on?
Yeah, the white. Well, it was custom made white straps for the War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drew Maloney. That, of course, they presented at the press conference. And as we saw in New Year's Dash, it seemed like they were just literally a one-off custom state for them. As Catch 2 and 2 went back to the traditional. I don't know about you, but I think that the white belts would have been a nice way to reset the idea of the tag team division in what Clark Connors, Drew Maloney were trying to say. What was no longer is. Catch 2 and 2 kind of brought that back. And I think presentation is key. And I think that the new white straps would have been nice going forward. But
yeah, and it would have also been a great mind game for a Catch 2-2 to play with the War Dogs. We stole the thing you custom made for yourselves. Get on our level.
Yeah, but I guess their level is more important than the level that they were trying to set, considering the fact that, again, you talk about the abysmal performance of the War Dogs during the Junior Tag League. This loss at WrestleKingdom kind of like left them with all bark, no bites. Kuzon, your thoughts on this tag title match, though, considering your outlook on the tag team scene in general?
I like TJP. I like what he did with the folklore. Usually I would like this tag team a lot more, but because they were going for something more gimmicked, I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else because his partner wasn't as gimmicked up here. So if you're gonna do something like that, do it together. Like do a do like you have to be a team here. You know, like not one of you can't come out with something and then the other dude's just like covered in green mist. You know.
Great Buddha.
Yeah, Kabuki.
About to say, we already got
I hate the War Dogs in this match. This was like terrible. And I don't mean on their wrestling skill, purely on the fact that there was a lot of moments where there was a lot of like stop and start, right?
Yep.
And after the New Japan Rambo match, I was like, come on, guys. Like, you've had like so many matches together, and this is like WrestleKingdom. Like, figure it out. Come on, man. You know, it might just be me because I was like, or because I was already going into this with the kind of like, what is this that you've got going on? Why are you biting your arm? You look like a freak, TJP. You look like a weirdo for sure, right? But like, I'm glad that the match wasn't too long. I'm happy that the match worked out like great. You know, they got most of their stuff down. I really like the new belts. They're made by a belt maker called Belts by Dan.
Yep.
He was the creator of the new IWGP Championship, the world title.
The Cody neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Going with that symbolism.
He also made the like a revised version of the TNT Championship for AEW. I believe he made the belts for DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling. So this guy makes quality titles. I would say this isn't the best. It might just be the lighting for the belt, because when you look at the pictures that Belts by Dan did, because he made like was there another championship like there was on like a new design on the show?
There was. He's a very well-known belt designer, one of the best in the game.
Yeah. Oh, the global championship. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. They kind of have the same kind of like feel to them, I have to admit. Like I definitely understand like we need these belts designed. Hurry up, you know, and it's like these belts take forever to make, you know. But like overall, like I love the new designs. I definitely think it's a nice cleanup for the championships. But the belts were designed for the champions, and now the champions don't have the belts anymore, so I don't know what they're gonna do. So yeah, that's my opinion. Straight after this match, I bought Wrestle Universe. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need something else after this.
Well, I'm the one who bought it, dickhead.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Of course, held by good-looking guys. I believe it's Jake Morris and Anthony Green.
What a fucking team name, bro.
Good-looking guys are just five guys. Which side would you rather be on? I'm just saying.
Good looking.
I love Five Guys.
Good looking because
they make good burgers.
Burgers and fries, baby. Burgers and fries.
Burgers and fries.
I'd rather be good. Man, I'd rather be good looking than just be a five guy.
I would like to be known as the Mega Whopper, if you don't mind. That would be my gimmick.
No,
you are
bro,
banned forever.
They're the five guys,
actually.
and I'm the Whopper Junior.
I'm trying to be a taco, bro. I'm trying to be a fucking chicken sandwich, dog, from freaking Chick-fil-A, dog.
Is there something I'm missing from this match, by the way? Like, I feel like I might have been too harsh on this.
You missed the fact that,
I can kind of agree with where you're coming from, Jack, to be 100% with the Chief. The match lacks this big.
I'll let Michael speak since he finally got stuff in there. Then Xero, you can go.
I finally got it. Don't worry. I'll get my stuff in. But no, it lacks this like level of care. It's like the the four competitors in this situation are just kind of like, yeah, we're here for work. we're not gonna do something nuts. It's like you're at WrestleKingdom. Put your goddamn boots on, dude. Make some fucking money. Like, come on.
Get that payday. You're
But
at the
the
Tokyo
one
Dome.
thing,
That's like
but
going
the
to WrestleMania and forgetting to tie your damn shoes. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, to be fair, we've
imagine
had triples on the ramp, but go ahead, Xero.
the one thing you are missing is the fact that TJP looked like a bootleg fiend
Oh
because
yeah, that was something
when
we
I
brought
saw,
up and watched together. I'm like,
but like the thing is, I do like the mask. I do like it, but I got this. I got this like image. The fact that the fiend before he passed on, he had a child, and it was Oswald all along. I don't know
no,
who
it's
he missed
no,
it.
we don't mess with the lore, dude. He's
Look,
Muda's kid, the one that gets sprayed in the face.
nah,
Oh
Buddha's
no.
kid
Oh,
is the
no.
great Sakura. The hell?
The great Sakuya, by the way. And
Yes.
by the way, I loved that
And
Joshi tag match in Noah. That was awesome.
and Aki
You're not
Bono
the ref.
because he also sprayed because Buddha also sprayed on this girl's freaking pussy. Then the great
That didn't
Aki
happen.
There's gotta be a
Bono.
better way to.
No,
There's gotta
the
be a
great
better way to-
Alright.
the great Aki
You're a little bit
Bono
far
was
out there.
born.
Well,
But like,
this is not a hentai talk about the birds and the bees and how the
look,
great
man, I love me
kabuki.
some
Yeah, you
good
need to
hentai.
calm down. We are only 20 minutes into the stream. You need to calm
Man,
down.
What we were
minutes.
talking about prior. You gotta
So
calm
like,
down.
so anyways, the junior tag match was all right.
Yeah.
My only
that's-
issue is the fact that fucking War Dogs was just lost. They were strays. They didn't know what the fuck they was doing, bro. I was like, bro. Plus,
They
the
probably
match.
saw TJP and went, "Oh,
Fuck.
this is what-
Oh, they also missed the missed spot that he did. That was a
Yeah.
big thing. That was probably what annoyed me, actually. I just remembered that.
Yeah, there was definitely some miscues here, despite the fact that literally these guys have faced each other now on 3 other occasions, and the War Dogs got the better of Catch 2 and 2 at each occasion. But it was the 4th time around, thanks to TJP channeling this mythical folklore after being put in a coffin, that allowed Catch 2 to get the win.
Philippines. Oh, folklore. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they talked about it's like what werewolf, gorilla, and a human
It's
hybrid.
a lost spirit, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
that. Thank you. The last one. A
Yeah.
lost
Well,
spirit.
What did you and Casey think of it? Because I loved it, clearly.
Again, it's one of those things where if you channel folklore into evolving your character as well as your in-ring presentation, and it means something different, I think that's what is the goal at the end of the day, and I think that fulfilled it. To me, this felt more than just a title match. This felt to me like, again, we're trying to do something different in the tag team division. Why Catch 2 and 2 have been the constant as what they are, TJP leading by example. Now, TJP challenging something darker to bring out maybe something worse in him, but also challenge everybody else to be even more different. And whether Francisco Akira becomes that, especially what happened at New Year's Dash when we get to that, that remains to be seen. And clearly the War Dogs didn't do more than just be savages, because that clearly doesn't work against the Oswong, to say the least. But I enjoyed it for what it was, and at the end of the day, got the job done. Would I say the Oswong is more invulnerable than the Fiend? No. But it is that dark side of TJP, like when Prince Devitt channels the demon, that allowed TJP.
That's exactly the comparison I was going to bring up. It's not the Fiend, it's Demon Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Demon
No,
Prince
Demon
Devitt.
Prince Devitt.
Like I was saying, Prince Devitt, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, that literally came out of a coffin himself, faced Kota Ibushi. Well, we all know the history of the original Bullet Club, to say the least. So.
Dog, how the fuck you were the tag champs and you was absolute garbage in the tag league, bro?
I
That
don't
is
know.
embarrassing. You're
I
the
agree.
champions and you got your ass handed to it throughout the whole tournament. That is embarrassing. You deserve to lose the belts after that. But
Well, again,
this match felt more like revenge than anything because
exactly.
you put one of his partners in the casket, laid to rest, only for the evil demon to possess this boy just to go back after you.
Yeah.
You deserve to lose.
Karma is a bitch, as they say, even in
All
Japanese pro wrestling. Casey, you got anything?
I believe that is a
further
bitch.
add? That's accurate.
Stop.
Karma
Add,
is
Casey.
a bitch. You
Shut up, Mike.
very much good. Yes. Continue.
Not Danhausen, very nice, very evil, but apparently that kind of worked here, to say the least. And I
No,
don't
no,
think
this is
that's
this is not Danhausen, very nice, very evil. This is very good.
Oh god,
Like a
Okay.
dragon? Yakuza?
Oh yeah,
Like a
absolutely.
dragon?
there you go.
My one
And-
issue with the new gimmick is this is a weird time to do something new without establishing it with a reason of why you're doing it.
Well,
With
they put it in the
Devin,
coffin,
like-
so I mean,
You get
You know.
more of like a reason why he wanted to do it, and it's like, oh yeah, I want to do one body paint because it's fun. With this, it's just like I like Great Muda, so I wanted to do when Muda goes like absolutely shit house and wears the awkward wears the really awkward demon mask that's supposed to be his quote unquote face.
Uta.
right?
It's just
but
it's
for-
weird. Anyway,
it's different, and it's like one of those like things that either appeals to you initially or leaves you thinking. And I think among the consensus, it has definitely left us more thinking. But as far as the context of the match purpose itself and finally being the War Dogs, it fulfilled what it needed to do as far as the small story being told. I can't say anything further to add before we go into the next match.
This was basically just a showcase for TJP's new gimmick, and I feel like it kind of needed to be more than that.
mm-hmm.
Well put.
Hmm?
All right.
I'm glad that that's the general agreement here of like, yeah, this be like cool that you did a new gimmick, man, but like Wrestle Kingdom was the time to do this. We couldn't
Well-
have like spent a full year like developing this. We do this at Wrestle Kingdom.
I mean, it's the biggest stage New Japan Pro Wrestling has to offer. So if you're going to make a first impression, you might as well do it there. But speaking of impressions, it wasn't his first. It was insert Wikipedia number here. Let's go ahead and talk about this one because Hiroshi Tanahashi, the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi, took on Zack Sabre Jr. for the up-team time overall, but their 12th time in singles action. And this was for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. This was Zack Sabre Jr.'s 17th defense of the title, winning it to the day 1 year ago on January 4th. And for what it was, again, these two, they have scouted each other so many daggum times. They have bested each other so many different times on opposite sides, whether it was for gold, whether it was for moving forward at G1 or a New Japan Cup, whether it was for Pride, you name it. And what led simply into this match was a net cradle. It was Hiroshi Tanahashi that caught Zack Sabre Jr. in a pinfall, and the front man has been dethroned. The mighty don't kneel, but the mighty humbled before. Honestly, if you're going to face somebody at the Tokyo Dome, this is the guy to face. He still owns the least, in my opinion. Tanahashi now, not only president, not only 1/3 of the 6 middleweight champions, the new NW World Television Champion. For what this title was meant to be, to give a chance to younger talent. Hello, U30. I think what Zack Sabre Jr. has done with it inaugurally since being the champion for last year has really made this title extremely valuable to pursue and to present in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now that the head of New Japan Pro Wrestling holds it, I think that there is even more possibility towards how far this title can go and how it can be ranked as far as presentation and worthwhile to go after in the New Japan Pro Wrestling ecosystem. And as we now know, after New Year's Dash, Zack Sabre Jr. clearly has initial intentions in going in a different avenue, but first he wants some revenge too. But we're going to go to focus right now on WrestleKingdom. Mike, I'm going to start with you because you're the only person I haven't heard nothing all about since we've talked about the NWA Television Championship. So give me your thoughts on this match, this title, Zack Sabre Jr.'s run, and were you surprised to see Tanahashi best Zack Sabre Jr. 1 year to the day for this title before he got to V20?
So the title belt itself, design-wise, is absolutely fine. It's fine. It could look better. It could look worse. To be honest with you, it's not my cup of tea. It's not really the thing that I would sit there and say, "Oh, that's what I want, dude." But it's fine. Sabre versus Tanahashi, it's fine. It's an okay match. It's probably their most mid-level work ever, with probably, in my mind, one of the weakest finishes they could have booked. it feels like we were rushing towards a roll-up pin, which is a really weird way to do it. Especially with the wars that these two have put on in the past. It's like, this is a weird, very weird way to like book this. Tanahashi himself, I'm glad that, you know, he's big boy now, even though it's kind of probably should go to like Okada. I think Okada probably should be the face of like New Japan, at least when it comes to being the president, but to each their own. But yeah, the feud's fine. Their matches aren't terrible. This is just definitely not one of their best. This is I would recommend probably skipping on the card because it's not worth the full watch. Just watch the ending. Most of this match is just very much not a lot happening, which is kind of upsetting. But what are you gonna do?
What do you feel about Zach?
Oh, and his disgusting like blonde job that looks terrible.
Oh,
jeez.
It's awful. It's awful. That blonde job is terrible. He looks like a high school girl. It looks bad. It looks really bad, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks really bad. I don't know who sat there and said, you know, it'd be great. What if we turned you into Cody Rhodes, but you're not?
well, Zach said that.
Yeah, of course. Zack Sabre Jr. When I think Zack Sabre Jr., I definitely think big, blonde, like World War II era aesthetic Nazi design with this fucking haircut.
I don't
like,
I
dude,
don't
it's
think
really
like
bad.
because he has like spiked hair.
Yeah, about to say it's a spiked hair.
It just
so, I mean,
it just looks really bad. It's Dolph Lundgren level, like Rocky IV style hair. It's a really
okay. Now you
weird
said that, I
choice.
can see it actually.
Like it's very weird. He's very World War II / Cold War looking haircut.
Bro.
Well,
My man's over
he looks
here.
weird.
It's the English nightmare. He's the English nightmare, bro. Let's go.
The English nightmare. Then the word of the day will
Adrenaline
be.
in my soul. Where's the biscuits and Cody Rhodes?
Well, again, young punks. Double eyes, they take their toll. And again, to your point, it was less than 10 minutes. It wasn't even the most competitive match in Zack Sabre Jr.'s run with the championship. The most competitive match besides the 50-minute draw of Jeff Cobb was the match for Speed on My Bed that went 14 minutes and 54 seconds. As of course, these matches are contested with a 15-minute time limit. It's almost like these guys decided to go fast forward, and it was more just a counterintuitive match. Not even much strong style was employed here. It was more so about who could capture the other, but it wasn't even for submission, which is Zack Sabre Jr.'s, MO. It was pinfall, to your point, and it caught Zack Sabre Jr. just like that for 3 seconds. So yeah, I think the finish was sudden.
These are two men that need way more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can give them 15 minutes, but they got to put on a war in 15 minutes.
And that is
it's got to be hold for hold, move for move, but you can see it's an uphill struggle to get an inch. This isn't that match. This is very attitude. No, this is very like new generation, Bret the Hitman Hart Monday Night Raw level of like, we're just filming time. It feels really weird coming from these two, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, honestly, I'm not even sure if Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. were sure of what they wanted to do with this title at the Tokyo Dome because of how sudden this was set up. Again, it was a neck cradle at Osaka at Power Struggle that's like, okay, I'll defend it against you. And I feel like if that wasn't the case, I'm pretty sure Zack Sabre Jr. would not have lost title to him. If I'm being honest with you, I thought the guy that was going to lose it to once he hit 20 was going to be Katsuyori Shibata. But it seems Shibata wants to finish out his career in AEW, and more power to him. He's already given so much to the industry. I don't blame him, especially if it means he preserves his head. Crazy son of a bitch. Plus, I'm pretty sure he wants the Pure Championship back. One of the best Pure Champions I've seen in Ring of Honor history. And that's saying something. All right. Casey, do you have anything further to add regarding this? Now that Hiroshi Tanahashi Grand Slamming and more, now NWA World Television Champion, another accolade. He's won every title imaginable in New Japan Pro Wrestling history.
He won the junior title?
Maybe
well, he
not
can't.
that. Well, not right now, but I'm not sure if he won that back in his youthful days. Now that you bring that up, Xero, you got a point. But Casey, any thoughts you have regarding this?
Y'all pretty much said it for me. This is a match that needed to be longer than 15 minutes or structured differently. just didn't hit the way they just really didn't hit the way they did it.
Somebody
But-
needed to go get the whiteboard real fast.
Kuzon, Xero, anything further to add? I see Xero has Go President. Now, I don't think that works as well as Go Ace in this theme, but to your
Yeah,
point,
man. President Tanahashi for life, bro. 2024 election. I already got my 2 candidates.
Yeah.
But
The first one's Hiroshi, the second one's Tanahashi.
nah, man. The second one is in Ali we trust. But But yeah, so this match, it was a television match. The one thing I really do like about this belt is that this is your free trial for NWP for New Japan World. This is legit your free trial. So
that's fair.
so yeah. But I would say this the match. This was a TV match, but like at the same time,
there are better matches
Yes.
with the
I
with the
mean,
world title.
G1 Supercard, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr., World
Yeah.
Quest 2, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr. both over the British.
Watch any other episode of New Japan, and I
Yeah.
promise you will get a better match out of these
Yeah.
two. This is we are having an off night.
yeah. But
Very
overall, a match quality wise, it was a a Zack Sabre Jr. Tanahashi match, which is fair. But I find it kind of funny that there was a joke going around that like Tanahashi his first act as president is to put himself over for the belt.
Damn.
This is fucking hilarious.
It's freaking Inoki and all over
Friggin'
again. I think
Yes.
Fujinami even did this when he was president. Just saying.
Yeah, it was funny as shit. But this is a TV match because it's for a TV title, and I'm happy Zach lost the belt because he's going on to a rematch, which I really am excited for. So yeah, Young
There you
Punk got freaking punked out by his boss. So there you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Kusan, anything further to add regarding this besides Zack Sabre Jr.'s hair?
man.
So I mentioned something during the last stream that we did was the kind of making a tradition of adding some kind of in the same way that like Taker has his WrestleMania like streak, having a thing with a streak of someone holding the belt all year and then wondering whether they're going to defend it on the WrestleKingdom or lose it on WrestleKingdom. You can
Right.
use that now. You can set that rule up and have that I don't know what the right word is for it. Add some kind of
Precedent, maybe?
like
Stay.
Constraint or constant?
yeah, like a constant of it, right? I think that'd be like a really good thing to kind of like not really put it as like an official like in writing thing, but have it like everyone thinks like, oh yeah, every time someone wrestles for this belt, the champion always loses the title at WrestleKingdom. I think having that constant there is a really good thing, and then having people think, ooh, who's gonna break that tradition? I
Me.
really like the
I'm
New
gonna do
Japan
it.
World title.
Me, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
gonna do it
Oh,
tomorrow.
Lord.
Me in the NWO.
Me with
And
the
NWO
union.
Japan once again reinvades. Good
Oh,
God.
NWO Sting, yeah.
Oh, dude,
Um,
I'll tag team with Jeff Farmer. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Jeff
maybe
Farmer.
not actually.
Jeff
All right,
Farmer
we're
does
down
not
way
get
too
enough
far.
credit for how good he was.
I do agree about that. Continue, Kusan.
I like the New Japan World tag team, the New Japan World TV title. I think it's definitely a billboard for how many times it is written NewJapanWorld.com, like 3 times on this title. However, I definitely believe that is done on purpose in the same way that the WWE titles are just big WWE logos at the moment. I definitely feel like that was the goal for this belt. I enjoyed the match up until the ending. I definitely believe this is the weakest one that they've done, but I'm wondering what they were thinking when going into this. Tanahashi has these weird armbands going on. Like, is there a reason he has those?
A subtle, just change to his attire. I mean, we talk about all the time at WrestleKingdom. You get the subtle changes in the presentation in not just the Titantron, but maybe the theme and also the ring repertoire of the competitors that come into the Tokyo Dome. And you saw that on full display across the board. And I guess it's just part of his, slightly changed up look. The man of the once the century talent that is Hiroshi Tanahashi. I don't know.
Like, I know he's.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be something like the sleeve that Tomohiro Ishii wears.
I don't think
the
that's
reason why he
it.
wears that though, because he has nothing but constant nerve damage, of course, and he also uses that to further tighten that lariat that literally has crushed people's throats.
Right, and I was initially thinking that Tanahashi was taking a similar approach. Just
You think there's like some kind of functionality to it?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think Tanahashi has been pushed by Ishii to show why you are the ace, be better. Because I think it's safe to say, since Tanahashi and Okada have gained the 6-man overweight championships, it's breathed new life in Tanahashi, but it's also given different direction for Okada in challenging all these different type of wrestlers from around the world. Let's not forget they defended now those titles against people in AEW and people in Impact Wrestling. So I think, honestly, Ishii is the guy that has literally brought Tanahashi and Okada to even more of a promise, but being perfectly honest. And for those that don't know why Ishii wasn't on this card, he survived a brutal war and won his singles encounter at Pro Wrestling Noah. My God, that was awesome.
That match was sick, by the way.
That was a fucking...
It was really good. It was the best match on the card, I feel.
Arguably, I agree. Next to Kendo and Manabu Soya, I have to agree.
Yeah. I thought.
Of course, it's Tomohiro Ishii. He's the goddamn MVP of the company.
Yeah, he's got like a coat hanger on his back. I'm really happy that he walks like that.
Poor Ishii.
He looks like he's got a coat hanger. Like, do you know, like when someone wears like a t-shirt and they've still got a coat hanger in it, like they've got their shoulders up like that? That's what I think of all the time.
How many times the man's been dropped on his damn head straight up? I can't be surprised that he's probably got stiff shoulders.
Homeboy's built like Tom and Jerry when he wears the big sweater.
the dog in the back?
Yeah. Where he's got like a big puffed out chest and his back as straight as possible.
That's in it. That is a Photoshop.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That is coming. No. Check my Twitter in 24 hours.
Oh, no.
No,
Send me the assets and I'll do it.
All right, but continue back to this conversation.
I thought Tanahashi had joined the Yakuza and he was trying to like keep it on the down low. And like, I don't know if like that's okay, Tanahashi. I think you need to figure it out, man. I know you're getting old, but damn.
He's just a member of the union, okay?
One of these days, he's gonna be in the ring after the match, and all we're gonna hear is Tana-chan.
Oh no!
Oh, God, please, out of nowhere.
Bro.
No, but like overall, the match was fine. The ending was just weird.
Hold on.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't wait? Was it Tanahashi? Wasn't he like in a Yakuza game alongside?
He was in Yakuza 6, I believe.
He and the rest of the New Japan boys are in. I think
Okada,
Yakuza 5 or
Naito.
6.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Chono was in there.
All of them.
Yes, he was.
Chono and Muda are in the second one, which is awesome.
And Chono's still the guy with the most G1 wins at 5.
Wasn't Omega supposed to be in a Yakuza game or like a dragon?
Yeah, he just never did it.
Right,
what happened?
I'm not
he
sure.
He just never did it.
I'm about to say he endorsed it, but I guess nothing like fell through. I'm just waiting for that to happen. To be perfectly honest, again, Ken Omega get well soon. But yeah, for this match, for me, the fact that it just ended out of nowhere, sudden roll up in less than 10 minutes, it just felt like to me it was like slow burn with how much they have done to each other over the years. But maybe there's room for another encounter. I don't know. It just felt like to me more could have come out here than what was given. But congratulations to Tanahashi. So we'll see. All right. let's go ahead and keep moving on here. And I think this is where things kind of picked up a little bit for us. And let's go ahead and have Xero kick this thing off because of the first time you want to talk about matches that people have literally faced each other how many times over. Just look at this record prior to this. And it's still in favor of Tsuji, despite the fact Uemura got the win. But it was Yota Tsuji's Uemura's main level card, Tokyo Dome debut. And for about 11 minutes, these two went strong style on each other, pulling every fundamental out from the New Japan dojo and every strong style counter, including that ridiculous Gene Blaster out of mid-air. I thought he literally killed him and broke him in half. But in the end, we saw Uemura prevail over Yota Tsuji at the Tokyo Dome, which I think for me, Uya needed this win. It sets a precipice for him that Yoda's already set since coming back to New Japan. Let's keep in mind, Yota Tsuji has already faced both Will Ospreay and Sonata for their championships respectfully, and he hasn't even been part of the company now for a damn year. While Uemura has been now part of this thing for, I think, what feels like now 4 months, and just probably got the biggest singles win so far since the resurgence of his career. Clearly, these two, they're going to be a rivalry for the longevity in the growth of New Japan Pro Wrestling. They set the pace, they set the standard. Of course, how the NJPW Dojo has pretty much, defined the landscape of New Japan Pro Wrestling since its inception. How about Bryan Danielson being the first student of Inokiism back when the LA Dojo was inaugurally a thing. That being said, Xero, you seem to have been very high on this match when it was first announced. Did it meet your expectations? And what was your overall thought on their first Tokyo Dome level singles encounter? The name changed.
But
I think we found Zero's gimmick for the day.
oh God, bro. No, this has always been my gimmick. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I'm about to say we've come to know Xero. So, but anyway, your thoughts on this match, Xero.
So
I remember you had a lot to say regarding this on the preview. So please,
it's the future, and like I would say, this was fucking shorter than I thought it would be, which kind of made me a bit upset.
Yeah, it was the longest match so far on the card.
Yeah,
11 minutes nearly,
and that kind of made me sad because it's like they was picking up.
Oh yeah,
but it just fucking ended. I'm like, huh?
that deadbolt suplex. He grabbed him, hooked him, perfect bridge.
But that was a crazy ass fucking move he did, though. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I was like, hey, yo, what the fuck is this shit? But
that's a Northern Lights for you. That's a Northern Lights for you.
That is a Northern Light if I ever seen one. But this match, I wanted to be longer because they was going to pick it up. I feel like if this match was like a good 20 minutes, this would have been good. But this felt like an average match, and I was kind of disappointed. Like they are talented. Freaking Yuya looked like he just came out of a freaking. Why does besides Yota Tsuji and Ren, Yuya and Shota look like they are just. They look more flashy than like their own characters, which is kind of like interesting to me because it's like Yuya over here wearing white. He looked like he's probably like a he looked like he could be like a the main star of like a promotion like I don't know 01 or some shit. He looked like one of those. Like he looked like the Tanahashi of a different Fed, because it's like when I look at the gear for like shows like this to look at it like this is what I'm going to be in the future. Like Jay White, he wear white and like red, which means he's going to be he's going to be somehow more diabolical than he already is. He's going to be like a clean slate. But yeah, and like now this match kind of made me mad. Yeah, this match kind of made me mad because it should have been longer. It should have been longer, but it wasn't. 11 minutes. I feel like this should have gone 15 or something because I didn't see like to me I didn't see their full potential. This kind of reminds me of the one Wrestle Kingdom match between Sonata and Evil, which was a disappointment.
Yeah.
So like this kind of this is better than that match, but it kind of feels like it. So
Underwhelming per your
yeah,
expectations when
it was
they've gone to
underwhelming.
50-minute draws when they were young lions and they kind of went full throttle in a quicker fashion here and got a definitive result in their first Tokyo Dome 1-1 encounter in less than 15 minutes. You basically wanted to see more out of these two on their grandest stage versus what you believe they're
Yeah,
going to deliver more on in the later stages of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
yeah, and like this kind of the trend throughout this whole show because this is the biggest stage. What the fuck y'all doing? Y'all slacking. Come on, pick it up.
The slow
Like,
burn, starting off slow. Good grief.
yeah, come, bro. Like, dude, this is Wrestle. Like, this is Wrestle. This is just me. Wrestle Kingdom is more prestigious than WrestleMania. The reason why is because the history beyond that stadium, beyond that specific date. It's
That's fair.
more like it's more memorable, prestigious, and more important. So like if you're going to slack off and give like some sort of performance like that, it's going to like just be a bit like it's going to like make you look like you're not ready yet or something because it's like this is the date that has so much that has so much history, so much lore. You can't bullshit this whole thing. Like like I'm not saying they were slacking, but they should have gone more. Like they should have gone more crazier because they have history with each other. They know each other. So why not use that from what y'all learned from each other and just go crazy with it? Just
It's
Now,
go
like
balls to the wall.
it's like reading a
very fair.
book where it only gets good after chapter 5.
Yeah.
Mm.
It takes that long to actually get into, the depth of the story and what's supposed to draw you in, and why they didn't even take 2 minutes to draw us in after again Yoda Gene Blast Ouya out of midair all the way down to the floor. Damn.
Yeah.
I do think to Zero's point, that was a very good summary. It is one of those things where again I always look towards the future. I want to be excited towards what the future could bring, but you got to set a standard, and I feel you have to set the standard at the biggest stage possible in the highest degree. Now, truth be told, again, neither of these men have been back in New Japan Pro Wrestling for a year. So maybe I can give them that. Was it maybe the right time to give them this match on the main card of Tokyo Dome? They're only going to go this far. Or maybe this, based on what they did, maybe this should have been actually, a second day match to close out the kickoff. Kind of like what they did to honor Antonio Inoki last year with that 6-man summit of generations inspired by Antonio Inoki. It is one of those things where I think about the New Japan Cup. It's already announced. There's no doubt in my mind these two are probably going to be in it. I don't think they're going to meet each other necessarily in that. But I can see these two running this back somehow, possibly at G1 Climax, which will probably be 20-minute, 30-minute time limit. And I can literally see it going to a time limit draw under those circumstances. So I do think, again, the precipice set of WrestleKingdom was not necessarily the greatest setup by people, but it was a tease set up by the people. And I don't necessarily that's the right approach to present at WrestleKingdom based on what Xero prescribed. I mean, again, there's been over 30 some odd different main events in Tokyo Dome history. Before WrestleKingdom was even called WrestleKingdom, back when it was just the games, back when it was just the stage that set up New Japan's year. Again, we're talking about all the way since 1972, Antonio Inoki inception, talking about Tenyu, Chono, Keiji Muto, Tanahashi, Minoru Suzuki, Satoshi Kojima. The list goes on. Names outside New Japan Pro Wrestling and Noah that, of course, made Tokyo Dome a stage of their own. Hell, even Jeff freaking Jarrett and Kurt Angle, if I dare say. I'm just saying. It's just one of those phases where this Wrestle Kingdom felt like it was introducing you into what the landscape is, but not necessarily what they can deliver. And I think this undercard is a heavy example of that. So, well put, Xero. Before we move on, does everyone have anything else to add regarding this singles match? I open the floor to anybody that wants to speak. Or did Xero basically cover everything?
I feel like you covered pretty much everything.
The one thing that we are kind of like missing is the ring psychology of what's going on. You can tell that they're really trying to do something like specific with like an ideal finish in mind.
Yes.
But they're suffering from a thing of, and I think this is just kind of the general booking of how the undercard has been throughout most of like the show, which is really weird, is we're rushing to get to the main event, and I don't know, it feels weird. The whole show has this like air around it. I don't know if it's just after this match or maybe like a match or two after this, but the whole show suffers from this problem of like we need to get to the ending. And I don't know why we're rushing to the end. This is WrestleKingdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If these two gentlemen put on this type of match and on the card that night you hear, oh yeah, you know, it's going to be Masahiro Chono taking on Keiji Muto, you should be wanting to always imagine that you have the top talent in the company going to compete right after, and you need to be either as good as something that they're going to do, or if not better.
That's fair.
It should be trying to upstage one another. That's how this should be.
Make the spot that you're in the spot people talk about the most. And I think Keiji Muto's last Love Show did that quite to a degree with the last 4 matches on that card, including the Summit of All Japan versus Congo. So, again, it's a very fair point. And to that point, as we move on, I'm pretty sure this conversation is going to be even quicker. Guys, I think this was actually the shortest match on the card. And Shota Umino and Kato Kiyomiya.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Which is upsetting. It's so upsetting because they're so good. They're so goddamn good and they're so important. And, they dropped the fucking ball so fast.
So I skipped this match.
I did too.
It's completely understandable.
I stopped watching.
This was the match where I literally felt like prior to this I was about to pass out with asphyxiation and literally cooled myself down to get back in the seat to prepare for what I believe was, let's call it what it is, when the card finally picked up. What a bridge point. And yeah, the 7-minute madness, House of Torture shenanigans.
I call it the pick-up a book match. It's the pick up a book match. Go pick up a book, see how far you get before the match ends.
So
it's the internal challenge. Can you read? How many pages can you get through before this match ends? Because Jesus Christ, is this short?
Again, Kato Kiyomiya, Shota Umino, so much potential in them as a tag team, despite the fact that Ryo Oira and Kato Kiyomiya are trying to get GHC tag team gold in Pro Wrestling Noah. That's the whole intention of Ryo Oira in the first place working in Pro Wrestling Noah. And what Shota Umino and Kato were able to do, overcoming all the madness that the House of Torture kept throwing in front of them too. It was literally game mentality that ended with that bar that is so symbolistic to the training back in the days for Shota Umino and Rhea, which really was the story of this match. And it just felt so damn underplayed, underimportant. It hurt me when I look at these 3 talents here and I'm like, why did you do this?
It kind of made me feel like this is where I would have put a women's match.
We literally said verbatim.
Yeah. Because I mentioned last time that I was really upset with the fact, and I'm still upset about it, but I've had time to like come away and think about it.
Right.
I am upset that again this year we have 11 matches. Last year we had 12 matches, including a women's match. This could have been where you could have put a women's match. It doesn't matter what you've got going on because clearly this match didn't really matter. I'm going to be honest, towards building anyone or putting anyone over or like progressing a story or whatever. I I feel like it would have been a good idea to have presented a lot of New Japan's women, and there are very few of them, from what I understand, on the New Japan contract. Obviously, like everyone's kind of a multi-agent. Everyone's on multi-contracts.
Yeah.
You know, if you're with Stardom or Tokyo Joshi, or you're with
Noah.
AEW or whatever. Yeah.
Imagine Noah creating a GHC Women's Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, they
I
should.
think-
That would be incredible based upon their work ethic alone.
They had women on the last show, right? The show before WrestleKingdom.
Yeah, funny you
so-
should say that. I think Noah is trying because they've been having women on the show for a while now.
Yep.
So
Yeah, well, they
That's a
don't
big
have
interest.
Mayu Yamashita,
They also
I'm sorry,
don't have.
so it doesn't
I
mean
can't hear
shit.
Naomi Toyota's screaming too loud.
Look, I'm just gonna say this, and I spoke about verbatim on our predictions show, and I'm just putting it in perspective. This match was 7 minutes long. Kairi
The shortest
Santana
one.
Nakano was shorter at last year's Wrestle Kingdom.
This match was the shortest match on the card.
Yep.
So
So there you go. And Kaito Kiyomiya loses in his NJPW Tokyo Dome debut.
I don't think there's a WrestleMania that has a 7-minute undercard match that's close to the main event. I can't think of.
Yeah, that's a good.
I
that's an
can't think of a
interesting thought.
single WrestleMania where there's a 7-minute. Like we're
Off the
getting
top of
really
my head,
close
I
to the
can't
main
think of
event
anything.
now. Unless it's unless
Maybe Ashley versus Melina at WrestleMania 23. Now that I think about it, because it was a lumberjill match and it fell into chaos because women were under.
maybe,
Sure.
but that's a you know what I mean? Like that's really weird.
Yeah, despite
I don't
the
know,
fact
it-
that there's
This
underwhelming
feels like a bad
booking.
booking decision.
No,
I don't know, man. King Kong Bundy beating Special Delivery Jones.
I don't know, man. That match is pretty good if you go back and watch it. I think of him as every delivery driver that doesn't order my
I-
food.
Tito
doesn't bring my
Santana
food
versus
on
the
time.
Executioner.
Okay, I'd rather watch that match than
WrestleMania 1 is what I'm talking about.
Nah, I know.
But yeah,
You're literally
no.
talking about the beginning.
No, I don't like the fact that I did not enjoy a match with Kaido in it. As I mentioned last time,
I tried.
in the predictions video, I believe that Kaido should be going up against Kazuchika Okada, and I still stand by that.
I agree. I really hope they run it back. I think Kaito is due to go after the Rainmaker one-on-one one more time, but this time don't do it in a pro wrestling. Noah, force Okada's hand and do it under his home turf, New Japan, and let's see if we get a different result. That being said, also, just don't do this to people like Shoto Kaito and Narita. Just no.
No, they deserve time to put work in.
Dog, I
They're
never.
very good. Let them give them. If you can't give them a long match, tell them go absolutely insane. Give us everything you have tonight.
Dog, I never fast forward so fucking fast. I was like, I'm tired of this bullshit, dog. This
Damn.
is making me so mad because the fact that Shota had a good entrance,
Yes, he did.
Kaito had a good entrance,
Yes, he did.
and then we get this shit. I'm
I
like,
got a quarter way
bro,
through the
I'm-
book Christine during the match, just to put in
Dog.
perspective.
dog,
No
I was-
joke.
Do you have anything, by the way, Casey?
Oh,
Not really. Y'all pretty much said it all for me.
I think Casey's mood is about as dark as the lighting of House Torch's entrance regarding what happened.
No, Casey, you can't be a member of the dark side.
He's wearing Bullet Club. I'm
It
just
says
saying.
it says you were to join the Chick-fil-A, not destroy it. Bring balance to the fried chicken, not leave it crispy and burnt.
Going to the
bro,
close on Sunday.
make sure you season that some bitch, bro.
This show does pick up, by the way.
Oh, it
it does.
definitely does now.
It
Let's go
does.
ahead and get our moods in order. I'm going to
Just
let
this
Casey
undercard
wake
is
up and
terrible.
kick this thing off because for me, since WrestleKingdom 15, this is the first time the bad motherfucker title actually felt like what it needed to feel like, and I think everyone agrees with that.
Motherfucker.
Tamatanga Shiodakagi tore the fucking house down in what felt like 20 minutes, but believe it or not, They only went 15 minutes, balls to the wall, testing each other's will, trying to jack each other's jaws and rearrange each other's backs. Every possible suplex combo imaginable, including Shingo using a gun stun, which I never thought I'd see. That was surprising. And Tama using a pumping bomber. And again, what Shingo Takagi sets at a pace for the Neverweight Championship, I have not seen the likes of since Tomohiro Ishii, Katsura Shibata, Togi Makabe, and hell, even Minoru Suzuki. I'm just saying, Minoru Suzuki took the title from Shingo for a few months. Casey, go ahead and talk about this match. How fucking good was this as a pick-me-up into really the card picking things up in general?
Oh man, this had everything you needed for a never open weight title match. It brutal levels of physicality, just both men gutting it out, grinding each other down. Like, goddamn, man, what more do you need? This you've said it again for me. This is the perfect pick me up after the 3 or 4 matches we've had.
It's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Now, Mikey, would you say that Tama Tonga versus Shingo Takagi was up there, just under, or surpassed what Shingo Takagi and Jeff Cobb did at WrestleKingdom 15 in front of a silent audience?
Okay. Let's take the silent audience aspect out of it completely.
Yeah.
And just rate it as an actual match itself, because yes, audience performance matters, but it's unfair to compare the two on that light. However, I'm always gonna say that if it's Cobb, it's incredible. The guy cannot have a bad match. It's definitely, when it comes to the design of like how it's like laid out, I have to give it to Cobb here. He put on a fucking banger of a match in front of me.
Yeah, I think Rocker Mail compared it to modern day Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen. I think that's a fair analogy.
Yeah,
but...
it's a kick the fuck out of each other match. That's what that is.
Yeah,
That is we're gonna kick the shit out of each other and we don't care. It's Vader taking on Stan Hansen again. It's like, oh yeah, well, one of us is gonna lose an eye, but we'll see who like actually wins the match.
Testing Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is a test, huh?
Oh,
Yes,
God.
Jesus.
That's a Xero. Again, you called both these men gaijins when their first encounter happened at the G1 Climax that really kicked this thing off in the first place. And that match went to a freaking 20-minute draw. Here they beat the shit out of each other for the Neverweight Championship in less than 20 minutes. Your take on this, man?
Shingo is never. Like,
Period.
I'm gonna be real with you. Shingo is never, because this man,
Golly.
I've been watching him when he first debuted for New Japan.
Right.
That was when I saw his match. I was like, that is my boy. This is the future of junior heavyweights. Then I realized he's not a junior heavyweight. He should be a heavyweight. Bruh. Shingo
Boy is
the
built
GOAT.
like a jug of milk, I swear to
Bruh,
God. He's just
he's-
calcium.
Dog, he built like calcium. This man is as hard as like this man is bedrock, bro. He is just built stupid.
He's as hard as Chinese algebra, JR.
Yeah, like this man is just a menace to society. And then you have my other boy, Tama Tonga, the GOAT. Like, man, he really showed me.
Mr. Darth Nihilus himself.
Bro, this
That's a good analogy.
Tama evolved like
he
a
wore the face.
bro. Tama evolved like a motherfucker, bro.
Oh, he's
From
great.
him having his swagger, from him literally just got turned on and found his own self. I'm just like, Tama, I'm happy he won his singles title. I'm happy he got that big moment at Wrestle Kingdom. This was a turn-up match. This made me happy. After me being literally miserable and depressed over the match before, this made me happy. I'm like, finally, bro. We finally picking up, for fucking sake. How long
There's
it
a
took
thing
us?
you're missing with Tama Tonga.
What?
And what's that?
He's also Black Tiger.
Oh yeah, he was Blitzer.
That's fair. But yeah, now what Tama Tonga and the Gorillas of Destiny started off as the guys that couldn't get the win in the Tokyo Dome, but finally did at WrestleKingdom 50. And then what Tama Tonga has evolved into on his own right now. His fighting spirit, the pride, the confidence that he has with himself. Now winning the Neverweight Championship 2 years in a row, might I add, at Tokyo Dome. And honestly, one of his best matches to date of his career, for being perfectly honest. Shingo Takagi is the testament towards is your will never say die, never quit, never surrender. And Tama Tonga proves that. Best thing Shingo Takagi. And Jeff, you think these two could have ramped up the action even more, and the audience just kept buying into it, buying into it, buying into it. Every time you thought man was down, man came back and out of nowhere just took the Iron Man's head off. It was incredible. Strongman spectacle showcase. This is the demonstration of what you are supposed to bring at Wrestle Kingdom. This is what fighting spirit truly is. I loved this match and everything that I got out of it. Mad respect to both. Kuzon, your
Would you give it a kick to the dick out of 10? Because that's what this match felt like, was a kick to the dick. I swear to God, it was crazy.
If I was a guy that actually rated matches and had its own rating system, it would be the highest rating I could get, because I always say when I'm truly at my highest passion in this business, that's professional wrestling, damn it. This gets that moniker, just to put it in perspective.
Oh, it's incredible.
Shingo is fighting spirit, in my opinion.
No argument there. Kuzan, your thoughts on this?
So, I had some
like
feelings. Yeah, I didn't like this match. No, I did like this match, actually. I liked it quite a lot. The thing I'm more interested in is what Tama Tonga talked about afterwards.
Yes.
He mentioned that he was leaving New Japan due to his contract expiring, right?
Yes.
Now I'm not gonna like theorize or whatever on it, but I definitely feel like I will be in agreement with him that he has probably extended his face run as far as it can go. If he wants to go any further, he needs to be a heel and he needs to have his swagger back, because he's definitely bottlenecking himself. And I feel like a lot of what Tama Tonga's personality is that he's willing to flow and just work with any kind of like anything that's thrown at him, he's able to spin it right into his own thing and put his own personality and his own stamp and his own like groove on things, right?
Right.
I definitely
What?
Say that again?
Very Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like the best thing for Tama Tonga to do is obviously still stay in a singles position. I feel like he should jump back into his heel role. I don't know what's going on with Tonga Loa. I would imagine wherever Tama Tonga goes, Tonga Loa is also going to go as well.
I would think so.
I would imagine so, because I feel like they're always going to be a package deal no matter what they're going to do. I really want Tama Tonga to break through whatever is pushing him back from becoming a major deal, because he has the personality to be a superstar. I genuinely believe that. And I don't mean on a scale of like, oh, he's a superstar in terms of pro wrestling. He's a superstar in terms of a personality. Tama Tonga has all the tools to do what he wants to do. It's just being able to figure out how to get there. I don't know what's going to happen with the Never Openweight Championship. I'm sure they'll figure out they'll do whatever they want. Everyone's leaving New Japan at the moment, and New Japan seems to be scrambling to figure out what they want to do themselves.
Yeah, well, again, it's right now a reset phase for the industry. I mean, the free agent market has so much going for it, and at this moment, we may know two things, especially with the person that just showed up after this, with his brother. We know that Nick Nemeth will be involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling and TNA, and we know the Virtuosa is involved with AEW. So as far as anybody else goes, with Julia, with Camille, with Tama Tonga, with Okada, your guess is as good as mine.
I don't want Tomatonga to go to all Elite Wrestling. Not because I have anything against the company. I actually really like AEW. I
Uh-huh.
really like what they're doing. I don't appreciate what they've been doing recently.
I agree.
I think that's really silly, but that's nothing to do against the company. That's just to do with what the owner's doing on his Twitter. Calm down. But
About to say, I don't think nobody's going to disagree with you on that because we talked about this open mic night last night, verbatim.
Yeah.
People of the internet, hear my voice. Don't be a Twitter twat. Continue, Kuzon.
I think that the best thing, in my opinion, I think the best thing for Tamatanga to do is obviously stick to his singles run, wherever he wants to go. I feel like he should mess around on the indies for a little bit, obviously, as long as he's got some like change in his pocket to provide for his family, because that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I would really like it, and I've been saying this for a while, and I think a lot of people are saying it for a while. I would really enjoy it if there was a potential to get, at least like in the next 5 to 10 years from now, to finally get that the Gorillas of Destiny and the Usos match. I think that would be a solid. If you don't do it, you're wasting money that's right on the table right there. Even if you only do that feud, that is fine as far as I'm concerned. At the very least, I feel like they should do that match and then allow both of the Gorillas of Destiny to do their own single stuff, right? I feel like they are more than capable of holding their own.
That's very
I mean,
fair.
they've
And
been doing
I
it for the past 10 years, so.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, the Gorillas of Death, they've been kind of doing, Sons of Haku. They've been doing their own thing together for about 7 or 8 of those years, and now we're seeing both men in singular pursuits. And why Tongaloa's had stutter steps, but he's been humble with the opportunities being given outside of surgery and injury. Tamatonga has been, in a way, thriving, but to Kuzan's point, kind of stutter stepping. And the fact now that, again, he has this, I feel like clarity in himself renewed with the fact that he was able to beat Shigetakagi and regain the Neverweight Championship, even if it is just for a moment or a duration, and we don't know what the future of that title is. It does make me believe that Tamatanga has more confidence in himself and whatever he chooses to do and where he wants to go that's more beneficial, not just for his career, but for his family. And at the end of the day, it's not about what letters you're associated with. It's about how much you respect the talent you've been following and the individual that's been leading by example. So to Tamatanga, wherever the future lies, I want nothing but the best for him. And I think he has a huge upside to be a huge singles name in this business. Now, where does that land? Only time and contract negotiations will tell. But phenomenal match with Shiga Takagi and Tamatanga, restoring the BMF value to the Never Openweight Championship. Mad respect to both these gauges. All right. As we move on from there, we kind of start that again, but again, talking about Gorillas of Destiny and talking about changes and talking about the trend of if you wear white, you're going to lose. Clean slate, clean reset for you. Good grief. Bishamon have finally been dethroned in their run lately at WrestleKingdom as, well, I guess this was kind of a statistical nightmare because not only were they coming in as champions, they were coming in as the winners of the World Tag League 3 times in a row. Unprecedented. Congratulations to them. Really shows how far Yoshihashi has come and how strong Goto still is. 20 plus years in the business. And considering this guy also previously won the titles alongside Katsura Shibata, I'm just saying. But it was almost like a double standard as we saw a 41-minute ridiculously enduring final in the finale of the World Tag League. And here, ELP and Hikuleo, they got the better of Bishamon in less than 10 minutes with a ridiculous Thunderstruck 91. Hikuleo going for the elevated splash off the shoulders of ELP, which I thought was a little bit messy, but still something to behold, to say the least. And kudos to ELP's shoulders holding that weight. Either way, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi have kind of set a precipice for tag team wrestling the last few years in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Besting FTR, besting Dangerous Techers, but passing the torch off now to ELP Hikuleo that have really come into their own as a duo versus singles players. And in fact, ELP never got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Hikuleo was formerly a WWE Strong Champion and lost that to Kenta at Resurgence. So, again, with the tag team still seen being figured out to a degree, and honestly, at this point, I'm just waiting for something like TMDK or what I just saw Bound in the Valley, bro, happen. I'm just waiting to see who steps up to the unified strong openweight and IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions next. And yes, they hold both titles, but it sounds like they're not being merged. Take that for what you will. It sounds like they are being individually presented and defended. This was weird, but I'm happy for them. And I think that Bishamon, they are the standard that was set. Now they're going to see what standard can be set up of them. So kudos to them in leading the way. Hopefully it leads to a bigger direction because I still think the tag team scene is still being defined, especially since Aussie Open no longer is part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Kyle Fletcher, great job so far as Ring of Honor World Television Champion. I love seeing him flourishing into his own. Dunkzilla, Mark Davis, get well soon. Mike, what's your thoughts on this tag team title for title match and ELP and Hikuleo getting it done in rather quick fashion? It almost felt like to me this was kind of a stutter step in not only their matches in general, now 2-1, but it kind of like, says a little bit backwards in what the Neverweight Championship raised at WrestleKingdom. But hey, GOD, 2 for 2 at the Tokyo Dome. That's got to count for something, right?
Before he says anything, it's 4:00. I gotta go. My doctor's visit is starting.
All
right, man.
Oh.
Have fun.
If you guys are still going when I get done, I'll try and hop back in.
Okay.
Be
Take
safe.
care.
Stay healthy.
All right, take care of yourself, man.
Drink water.
Yeah, appreciate you. Anyway, well, at the end of the day, you got to take care of your well-being, folks. Go ahead, Mikey. Yeah, your thoughts on this tag title for title match?
I'll be honest. It suffers from the problem with the rest of the card. It's too fucking short. There is a lot of work that you can see, like, fundamentally is getting done. But the problem comes in is that if they had at least another 5 minutes, which I think that's like the major issue with the show, is that this should have gone another 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that extra 5-minute cushion time would have absolutely helped out about 90% of the matches on this card, I swear. But it's not bad. But I wouldn't put it up on a high list of, like, you need to go out there and watch this match. I would say if you're going to watch this just so you can watch the trilogy unfold, definitely put this one on ×2 speed, because this match doesn't have a lot going on. There isn't a lot of stuff that happens. It is very basic, fundamental wrestling, which isn't bad.
No.
But very weird to do it at Wrestle Kingdom. And I think that's kind of the major point that I'm going to be bringing up a lot here, is that this whole card feels weird. This feels like this was done like last minute. On a stripper, like on a strip club, like napkin. Like, oh shit, I got that thing I gotta do. Like real quick. I don't know why. But no, as a tag team match, it's fine. But it's definitely the weakest of the trilogy that we've seen so far.
Yeah, bar none.
Their second encounter is incredible. Holy shit.
41 minutes. Those guys, that was one of the greatest World Tag League finals I've seen in a long time.
That's so good. It's so good.
That's up there with Hiromu and El Desperado's junior tag league.
Completely agree.
Best Super Juniors final, where he literally took the man's mask off because he's like, who are you truly underneath this? And I know we'll talk about that here in a moment, considering that was the match that was next. And by the way, again, this was the time that the Never Prayers made their presence known. Maybe the Never Prayers go after the tag titles. Who's to say? I guess
there's only one way to find out, and that's continuing to watch and kind of see what's happening. But as a tag team match, it's fine. But it's very Attitude Era, like in between, like the show tag team match. It's not. I wouldn't put it up that high.
Yeah. That's fair. I think there was definitely more that could have been happening here, even if both teams.
It's definitely Ken Shamrock and Big Boss Man taking on the New Age Outlaws. It's like you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be great.
And Big Boss Man, still one of the most underrated big men of the business. R.I.P. Kuzon, again, you talked about Yeah, exactly. You talked about your outlook again towards the whole tag team scene and both sides and the tag team matches on this card. Well, here's the last one of it, man. So go ahead. And again, this is for the heavyweight tag team championships and the strong tag team championship. So in theory, from booking, this felt the most important. But to you, even under underwhelming circumstances, was it? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't watch this match. Okay, here's the thing.
That's fine. Honestly, you didn't miss a lot, to be honest.
Here's the thing, right? And I hope that I'm definitely not trying to be negative during this review. By the way, I feel
you're
really
not.
bad
I
like
am.
being this way. But here's the thing: I'm sick of seeing Goto and Yoshihashi tag teaming, because no one is putting any effort into Chaos at all anymore. I feel like this year, or at least like figure something out for this year, someone needs to bring Chaos back up and they need to have a bigger focus. Okada, like, I know he's like disappearing at some point. He needs to spend the rest of his time bringing Chaos back up and focusing on his own faction. I feel like that's a big thing that New Japan has lost over like the past few years. And it's kind of sad because Chaos is such an interesting group. The fact that they've had such a history of having so many good new members, bringing in Will Ospreay because they wanted to have him in New Japan to be in their junior heavyweight division. The story to that's incredible, and I think that's why I like Will Ospreay so much, is because of his humble beginnings, being handpicked by Okada because he wanted someone to grab the junior championship. I feel like then the judgment of Okada grabbing hold of Jay White when he was clean shaven, and Jay White was a snake in the grass, the sneakiest of like backstabbers, and that said a lot and put a lot over for Jay White. That did a lot for Jay White in the process, and it said a lot about Okada's personality, because Okada lost the plot at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like when I look at Goto and Yoshihashi, I feel like they're kind of on the side of a really good storyline, that they're really missing out on something. And it really makes me feel like I can't care about the tag team division at the moment. Because I'm going to be honest, the reason like I kind of skipped over this, I watched about a minute of it, skipped it, and I turned on Wrestle Universe and watched... what did I watch? I think I watched some more Pro Wrestling Noah, but I also watched some DDT. I was trying to find some more like kind of like the Ibima Towers matches, you know, like the most recent one that me, Mike X, and Xero watched. We watched like the boat episode. It was a really
It's incredible.
watching that. Yeah.
I don't care what you need to do, Noah. You need Jeff to start watching DDT. It has to happen. It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
I'll see what I can do.
It's
You should
totally
push it on
worth
him.
it. It's super funny. The content of it alone is hilarious, especially if you're doing commentary with, I mean, whoever, even if it's whoever, and you guys play that straight. Oh my god, that's the funniest video on the fucking planet. I swear to God. Don't play it like you know the joke. You need to play it like, I can't believe it. He's doing karaoke on the boat. Like, you gotta go in, dude.
There goes
DDT is one of the
zero,
greatest.
zero selling. I got you. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
There comes a point where I'm looking at New Japan, and I think this was kind of the point. I think honestly, New Japan, in terms of just purely story and what they're doing in terms of building their own roster, and I understand that they're obviously like being raided at this point. It happens a lot every year, but at no point did I ever feel like New Japan lost their way. I'm definitely in the feeling at the moment that New Japan are kind of in the process of losing. I don't think that they've lost it. I feel like that it's slowly like spilling through their fingers, and they need to get a grip. And it's simple to do. All they need to do is focus heavily on more of the characters, you know? New Japan's known for its fantastic wrestling. They need to do some story and character building again.
That's fair. And again, Chaos first established by Shinsuke Nakamura, who again established a character that presents all for himself. Literally the first student picked by Antonio Inoki to bridge his vision of combat sports and professional wrestling. And you saw the precipice that Chaos was set under Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, holding the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, making it even more important than the World Championship. I do think that a way that Chaos, ever since Will Ospreay started United Empire, ever since the likes of Robbie Eagles joined TMDK, and you really see the faction landscape right now, the strongest factions being presented, not necessarily the strongest factions at all, but the strongest factions being presented, United Empire, just five guys, and Los Ingobernables de Japón. I do think that Chaos has kind of fallen back a little bit, even if Okada still is the guy, the experience, the force be reckoned with, the final boss not named Michael Satomura. So I think there's a fair point when it comes to the presentation of Chaos that has been originally created and the representation right now that Chaos is being showcased as. So again, the strongest player to me right now outside Chaos, besides Okada, is Ishii. And Ishii is a former six-middleweight champion with Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. The reason why right now Ishii is the MVP, not just of Chaos in my opinion, but six-middleweight championship wrestler, being honest. So I do think you have something there. But when you look at Hiroki Goto's track record and Yoshihashi's track record without coexisting with each other, they're even more lost than they are right now as a duo. So while you might be tired of seeing them in this light, it might be the best light for them in trying to find a way for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And to your point, I think that's what this year was about, again, at WrestleKingdom. Resetting the landscape or defining it ahead of the 52nd anniversary. Here at New Japan Pro Wrestling, all this younger, uprising, returning, possibly developing talent, Nick Nemeth, Matt Riddle, bro. The partnership with TNA Wrestling, the new Three Musketeers of the Rewa era with Yota Tsuji, Ren Narita, and Shota Umino, and Will Ospreay talk about how she thinks that Shota right now has the best chance of the three to not only win a championship first, but maybe be a main eventer in New Japan Pro Wrestling, even at the Tokyo Dome. And again, it was Shota Umino that pushed Will Ospreay the hardest all last year versus anybody else, 40 damn plus minutes. So it is one of those things right now where I think New Japan is trying to recreate their landscape with Tanahashi as the president. And with Tanahashi having that longevity in seeing the rise, the fall, the rebirth of New Japan Pro Wrestling, again, during the darkest era, like you pointed to, Xero, hopefully he's right now seeing the players that will be used to shape that landscape versus lead it. And I think Bishamon is part of that shape. No longer leading it, just guiding it. Because now DOD, well, you call them B team, they hold all the tag team gold. So, Xero, with your nameplate there, your thoughts on this and maybe Kuzon's outlook of Chaos and maybe, honestly, what we think right now is happening in New Japan. Go ahead.
This tag match was just like, what the fuck? This was like, I blinked 3 times during the match. I'm like, So, it's the fact that their previous matches was much more longer, and then the recent match was just 9 minutes, and it's like, wait, y'all went to war from the last few matches. How come now this is just like a short burst? Like I thought y'all know each other more. Y'all could easily literally keep up with each other, kicking out of like moves and all that type of shit. How come now is on this big stage you decided to just half-ass the whole match? Because it feels like a half-ass match. Because it's like ELP is great. Like the one head banger that I know that was a really good junior, but never won the world title. Wow. Well, to never won the junior belt.
Correct.
Same with I was gonna say same with Takagi, but but then again, his big ass is probably too big for the belt anyways with his
He
strong
weighs
ass.
220, so he is in the junior division.
Technically
Yeah.
speaking, yes, but like Will Ospreay's fine-tuned himself, Shingo Takagi's fine-tuned himself to define, as Zero eloquently put it, never. And never is
Yeah.
about no limits, like the X division. Continue.
Yeah. So like this whole show, this show struggled. Like this was a bit of a struggle watching this whole show, because it's like if these like if these wrestlers are so good, how come now on this big stage you just half assing the whole shit? And you just rushing to get to the main event. Take your time, slow it down a bit, you know. But this match was weird. It was legit weird because it's like this was short and like it's just this whole show. I felt nothing besides to the next few matches because it's just like this is disappointing. And Goto and Hashi, they are the princess brides, not the princess. They are literally like the little engines that could. I'm happy for Yoshihashi. Oh, the better term was they are the bridesmaids, not the brides. So it's like I'm happy for Yoshihashi more because he can finally says he's a champion because he just nothing but just straight pin eaters, just like Bushi. Poor Bushi, but
Yeah, or Bushi. Good grief. That
but
guy's record. Continue.
but like it's just like this is a prime example why I feel like there's a big problem with New Japan and like certain parts of it because it's like this is a grand stage. You should be putting on bangers. You should be showing off. Like this is one of the only shows you could show off. You know, be flashy, go crazy, feel like you just like you just feeling yourself. Like you literally just there. You feeling it. You
The
know?
atmosphere.
Yeah. You like you just come off this 20-yard ramp with some pyro, with those big fans, all that type of stuff. This is your moment to shine. And I feel like this whole show, there wasn't no moment to shine. Nobody shined. The only people that kind of shined was maybe the Never Open Way or whatever. They shine, but everybody else didn't shine. This is your moment to shine. Why are you not? Why are you being dull? We need to spit shine you. We need to literally just shine your shoes and like, come on, man, like do something. I don't want
Yeah.
no quick burst. Shit,
Yeah, that's
this is
like,
depressing.
try
I'm
try
gonna
to
go
pull
back.
the drawstring on the lawnmower just to turn on. All you get is just a puff of
Yeah,
exhaust.
I'm gonna go back. Watch a person. No, I'm tired of this shit.
I definitely have a thing on like some kind of like solution here. Just to wrap this
Mhm.
up.
Alright.
I definitely have a thing that to the point that you were saying before, Noah, about like like between Goto and Yoshihashi, they can't do it on their own. I think that speaks more on their capabilities, like as like not as pro wrestlers, but just as like characters. I
Mhm.
feel like this would be the time for both of them to probably step away from each other and work on their own like characters. Like you see, like Ishii is going around in Noah and killing people. Like he's
Yeah.
doing his own thing, right? I absolutely think that those two should definitely go and do the same thing. And I think they're more than capable of doing it in their own way. All Japan are in a state where they're working with NXT now. That is unheard of. That is mental to think about, right?
Yeah,
I'm
it
definitely in
is.
the belief that there's definitely a way for those two to go over to All Japan and then figure something out with some NXT rookies. right? I think that between those two, either in singles or in tag team, whatever they want to do, I definitely feel like they can get some sort of resurgence.
I mean, look at Kazuhiko Nakajima, and again, he's adorned now in all white, channeling the spirit of Inokiism, now the freaking Triple Crown champion after what he and Kento Miyahara did on December 30th, now literally defending the titles against Charlie Dempsey, successfully, by the way, spoiler alert. It's like, again, it's one of those things where you redefine yourself, you rediscover yourself, you fine-tune yourself outside your own original landscape, because Kazuhiko Nakajima was a staple of pro wrestling, for years. Former two-time, I believe, GHC Global Honor Crown heavyweight champion. And, of course, he was previously involved before then. Yep. Previously, he was involved before then in New Japan Pro Wrestling at a G1 Climax. And one of his
Nakajima is the dude. He is the dude in Japan to look for at the moment.
What do they call him? Like the king of kick. If Mia Yamashita is the queen of the pink kick that almost took the damn Ring of Honor Women's World Championship from Athena, then Kazuhiko Nakajima is still, I believe, the king of kick, and he literally rocked Kento Miyahara's world and didn't even beat him via pin. We watched the match. He beat him via submission. And I still think Kento Miyahara and him are not done with each other. They need to run that shit back. But anyway.
Yeah. Nakajima, he's the modern day Kawada. I don't care.
He needs to figure that hair out. I don't know what he did with that.
The shaped landscape. But I also agree with that consent. All right. Well, again, I guess we'll see maybe if, the New Japan Cup maybe brings a light to this, because maybe if Goto and Yoshihashi are in it on opposite sides and we see what they can do as singles, maybe that can tell us something. But I do believe you need to build something in yourself beyond what you demonstrate in professional wrestling, whether it's fine-tuning your character or becoming stronger. And when you look at the journey of these two men, Xero, I think it's safe to say that both men did that in their own way. Hiromu Takahashi redefining a rather different but bigger perception, I think, of junior heavyweights, while Desperado, he's been going on his own personal vendetta to define himself as strong as possible, going up in death matches against the likes of Jun Kasai and, of course, Jon Moxley. And why these two have taken a whole different road to get to this point in the Tokyo Dome 1 year to the day. And both, I think, we're looking for closure, while El Desperado's looking for this ticket to the world to challenge himself towards every wrestling facet possible. Hiromu trying to build the junior heavyweights to be main event level players in the Tokyo Dome. But don't compare us to heavyweights. Look at us for what we are. We are junior heavyweights, but we are our own class. I think what these two did, and yes, it was not as long as their Best of Juniors final, but still, when I look at their match from WrestleKingdom 16 versus this WrestleKingdom, I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more, and I think they did bring a little bit more out of each other. And while Hiromu was looking to be the all-time record holder, he stopped his defense record, El Desperado, darn in the black and red. He showed how strong he was, and he was able to hit him with a Pince Loco pile driver, Jesus, and a follow-up Pince Loco to get the win. And whether or not you want to call him the face or the front or the leader of the junior heavyweights, you can once again call him IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Now, what does that mean in El Desperado's case and mindset? That's a whole different conversation. But I enjoyed this match for what it was worth, and I am curious now to see what Hiromu has done this last year. How can El Desperado take it further in his own capacity? So, Xero, your thoughts on this?
I never approve of Hiromu's fucking entrance attire, bro. I never approve of it. I never approve of my husband's attire, dog. I never approve of that.
I don't know what's going on there.
Fuck, he was.
I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, it's his entrance attire, not Desperado coming out like a creative character.
Desperado came out like a fucking default fucking shape, bro.
Like he looks like a default CAW.
I'm not even sure what either man were going for here. I just figured that Desperado. I thought he was trying to channel, like, I don't know, great Muda, or we all know that there, but I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I'm Tiger Mask 3, but like none of the colors.
Yeah, Starlight Kid didn't have a conversation with him beforehand. That's why.
Clearly, otherwise it would have been black and purple. Just saying.
Yeah, because Cause like I was over here like, what the no.
The presentation aside, let's look at the two men in the match here. Because I feel like we talk more about the presentation than the match itself.
All right, the
But
match
go
was
ahead.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
they never failed to amaze me. I swear. Hiromu has some really good rivalries with like certain wrestlers. Him and Ishimori, him and Osprey, which is a classic. To now him and Desperado, like bruh, like Jesus Christ. It's like they would never have a bad match. Even if it's short. The reason why I got on other like the reason why I got on like the others why I took out on their asses is because it's nothing to them. It's nothing to them short of matches. Like it doesn't feel like this was an actual caliber match
You
for a
didn't you
stage
didn't
like
feel any
this.
contact come out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And like when I watch this, it's like I know the history. They said that this is the last match, and the only way they can have another match is if it's the main event. Which I'm like, yes, please, because I love junior wrestling. I love the juniors like so much. I would love to have a junior title match main event to Wrestle Kingdom, and the fact that Tanahashi is running the shit, it's possible. But this match is freaking good. Like the ending is like this bro, like, bro, I need to end your career. Freaking Jay Driller. Then turn it to like his
It's a
then
local.
to his yeah. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, oh shit. My man's like, bro, Hiromu would not stay down. This man's on crack like 24/7, bro. No wonder, no wonder Ali's like, bro, we need to change the face of juniors. We
Oh
need to get
God.
this Hiromu out of here, bro.
Good luck
But
with that.
bro, Ali's man, Ali, he about to be on a tear this year. I'm excited for him.
Name.
But other than that, I'm happy that her okay. I'm a huge Hiromu fan. I love Hiromu.
Right.
Like that's why I call him my husband because I could feel more connection to him because he's insane. I'm insane, and it's like yeah, we are meant to be. But I'm happy
Kindred
for
spirits.
yes, but I'm happy that Desperado finally won a title, singles title, I should probably say, in Wrestle Kingdom. Because if you notice, they did had a match that like I think 2 years ago.
Yep.
But even though Despy won, he retained. He didn't take the belt. Now he can say, I took the belts and I'm now champion. Now I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna find the other part of my mask because apparently I can't find it no more.
Yeah. That's fair. All
Fucking
right.
Desperado in fucking freedoms, bro. What the hell?
Well,
Doing,
I mean,
bro?
maybe he wants to go back to freedoms and defend it in a death match for all we know. And I would argue to say, with that aspiration of Hiromu, as far as their next encounter against each other, these could be the two this generation of junior heavyweights that could make, like you said, that main event level encounter at the Tokyo Dome come to fruition. Now, how soon is a whole different story. But again, with the story told here with Elvis Brown and Robert Takahashi, I think was very well played, extremely fast and physical. I mean, heck, Ellis Brown knocked Hiromu's head off how many times Hiromu kept getting up to your point, trying to defuse the damn time bomb. So it's just one of those things where I expected these two to leave nothing off the table. And they didn't. And they did in a very fair capacity and a good amount of time as well. So kudos to both men. And I'm glad that El Desperado won. I really am. El Desperado, for me, has always been one of those guys that has stood out to me when it comes to his mentality. Because, again, he's got a whole different mentality when it comes to him and pro wrestling and what he sees himself as in pro wrestling. There's a reason why he and Minoru Suzuki still rode together after the dismissal of Suzuki-gun, and strong style was a thing. And then he wanted to test himself under different facets of wrestling. And of all the facets to go after, deathmatch, you are bloody fucking crazy. The only thing you didn't do was challenge Nick Gage. Jesus Christ. So about to say, this is El Desperado. I don't gotta give him ideas. He's probably got the idea as we speak. But yeah, what Hiromu did this past year has probably been one of the most prolific years of the representation of the junior heavyweights I have seen in a long time. When Junior Thunder Liger started, I think Hiromu has certainly, take a word from Ospreay, elevated. And again, he took the title off of Ospreay in the first place when he returned back at WrestleKingdom 14. So kudos to what Hiromu and El Desperado are doing with the aspect of junior heavyweight wrestling. Kuzon, your thoughts on this match? El Desperado once again now being champion, now gaining it from Hiromu.
So I know that you said that presentation like isn't as important with this match. I would disagree because any match that Takahashi has is definitely a presentation match, right? He's great at wrestling, and so is El Desperado. They're like two of the greatest to like ever do like junior heavyweight like wrestling. But the whole thing with Takahashi is that he kind of feeds off of the story and the characters that he's always talking to. He tries his best to bounce off of whoever he tries to get the best out of whoever he's up against, right? He tries to push them to do stuff that they're not really comfortable doing. And I would say that with this match being like 14 minutes, it definitely didn't feel like 14 minutes.
It did.
I
don't know what
you fought.
Yeah, I don't know what El Desperado was thinking with his attire. I don't know why he thought it was okay to come out like that. That's the only thing. Just take the t-shirt off. It's cool.
He said, you know what's cool? Tassels. And you know what
I
said?
Tassels.
No, it isn't.
I sat there and went, no, it's not okay. Where's the rest of your mask? Bring back the white and gold mask, because that mask is sick.
Well,
I
think
don't want to. It got mixed with the rest of the laundry, and now the gold is pink.
To be fair, the only time he brought that mask was when he actually was champion. Now he's champion again, so maybe you will see it. Anyway, continue.
I like the white and gold. I think it's really cool.
I agree.
I would like for the future. I would like to see him and Starlight Kid do more stuff.
Yes.
I feel like the integration of other companies. I feel like it's kind of the norm now for New Japan to be working with a lot more companies, especially with the Ultimate Japan deal that's going on at the moment.
And of course, they do that Frontiers thing now lately at the start of their shows, bringing in wrestlers from other companies to take on vets from New Japan in Showcase.
I feel like I would like a lot more. How do I put this in a way without just like gushing? I would.
Oh, come on, gush.
Really,
it's okay to gush.
I would really appreciate if there was a lot more
inclusion of our promotions, or
I feel like the thing I want most, selfishly, more than like anything, is I want to see more women on New Japan's like roster. Right?
I agree. Especially with the IWGP Women's Championship still part of their ecosystem, and the Icon Myra Tani sets for 10 against Syria. I'm very curious to see who is next to challenge her and where. And we do know, according to what we read last year, there is another historic crossover show to happen with Stardom and New Japan, date to be determined. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a big marquee match for the women there, particularly for that title in the main event. Let's not forget, Myra Tani and Kairi Sane set the pace and precipice for that title, crowning the inaugural champion in the first place.
I would appreciate a match where, and this has been done like a few times, where there is either a champion on each side, and whichever tag team wins gets both of the titles, obviously like men's and women's. Or if you have like double champions on one side and both challengers on the other side of the ring, I think that'd be a really good thing to do, because you're able to keep up the pace in terms of the psychology of the match. I think it's a good idea in Japanese wrestling. It doesn't really work in American wrestling because like I don't really feel like the crowd is really for it. Because American crowds are a lot more unforgiving. Yeah, like it's. I don't know how to explain it. Japanese crowds are definitely more. They'll work with what you give them as long as what you're presenting them is a good presentation at the time. Whereas, like, if you kind of put that forward in a Western audience, immediately before even the match has happened, they're already booing, you know? But
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
already
like,
I hate Western crowds.
for the most part, El Desperado definitely has a potential to start bringing in a lot more people from other companies and potentially bringing in a lot more challenges for the junior heavyweight championship. Because, man, we need some new blood. Like, we really do for this junior championship. Because,
Yeah.
again, I said it last year. The junior heavyweight championship, the IWGP new junior heavyweight championship, is my favorite title ever.
Respect.
It's my favorite title even to this day. And I would like to see a lot more happening with it.
I agree. And I do think, again, you think about what Hiromu, Liger, and New Japan did creating the All Star Junior Festival, it gave you quite an outlook towards what the junior heavyweight world of pro wrestling has to offer. And to your point, some of those names that went way beyond the Japanese promotions that we know, DDT Pro, Pro Wrestling, Noah, All Japan, Wrestle One, just to name a few. I definitely think that aspect's there. And as far as Western audiences go and blinder effect and traditional aspects, Xero, I think there is one company that probably can be the exception and has been the exception as far as what I've seen because intergender wrestling can actually work there quite to a degree. That's TNA Impact Wrestling. Just saying.
Oh, most
Especially if they're
definitely because they,
so
they chill over there.
yeah, but about to say it. And if Multiverse United has shown us anything, I could really see El Desperado defend this title against somebody in TNA. So we'll have to see what happens as Chris Sabin still holds the X Division Championship. Hell Sabin. Record 10 time after outlasting El Hijo del Vikingo and Kushida. Incredible match. So, yeah, for me, it feels like, again, as we look at reshaping the landscape in a way, I think El Desperado is the right guy to do that right now with the junior heavyweights holding the title with what he wants to do with it and what he can be allowed now to do with it and go with it. Why Hiromu has, I think, elevated in a different way. And Hiromu's always going to be a constant presence in the junior heavyweights to bring more of that attention and focus. Case in point, he's facing Mustafa Ali at Windy City Riots at Wintrust Arena.
That's
Mustafa been hungry?
Shut up, Kuzon.
Anyway.
But no, Ali we trust, bro.
Well, again, vote Ali. I guess we'll see what happens. Michael, your thoughts on this junior heavyweight match? El Desperado now with the strap, the gateway to junior heavyweight wrestling across the world. What do you see him doing with it, possibly? Or what do you hope to see from it?
I really hope that what he starts to do is get some new blood in here because currently, right now, that's not what's happening, dog.
Yeah.
Leo Rush.
This division needs brand new blood to come in to be the next top stars that can go from the IWGP Junior Heavyweight division and eventually become IWGP World Heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's what they need to start doing. And El Desperado being the guy that is the wall, per se, that most athletes are going to have to conquer in order to move forward with their career is probably the best decision the company can make. Honest to God, because the guy is fucking incredible. He is very good. It is insane of how good he is in the ring. The match itself, I honestly, I think it's fine as is. There are a couple bits in it that made me go, all right, guys, we definitely could have done a little bit better, but that's fine. That's fine. I get it. You know, nobody else is working their ass off tonight, so it's fine. But
they went full velocity. I'm just saying.
No, it's they're doing fine. They're doing what they're doing, which is fine. But I don't know. Part of me, and maybe this is just the pro wrestling fanboy that is in my brain, goes, I really wish the presentation did match the overall velocity that they were like bringing into the ring, because Jesus Christ, dude. Wish.com El Desperado here. It is just, it's such a friggin' eyesore.
I'll have you know, his wife loves him very much.
Yes, I bet she does. And she shops for his clothes on Temu. We know this.
Jesus.
This man came out with just a shirt, bro.
I think
Yeah, this
that's
is
the
all I
biggest
got.
thing. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I have an issue with, by the way, is just the presentation of El Desperado coming out with a t-shirt and half of his mask. It doesn't cut it. I'm not forgiving that at all. That is totally... I'm blaming El Desperado for that.
I think El Desperado did that on purpose.
I'm blaming his
just
wife.
to probably-
She brought her up.
I feel El Desperado kind of did that, though, intentionally, just to maybe incite this. And I almost wonder if the half mask thing is an homage to, again, remember, Hiromu ripped the man's mask off during their 41-minute belt tour. First time ever one-on-one true level encounter in the Best Super Juniors finals a couple years ago. And you wonder if Hiromu and El Desperado ever forgot about that. Clear Desperado didn't. And to Zero's point about the attire of Hiromu, El Desperado literally tope con hilo the guy before he even could get in the ring and get out of what the hell he was wearing. So I don't
This
think El
man
Desperado
was
approved of it
wearing
either. So,
It's like New Japan ran
Eyeballs
out of
and
a budget.
tentacles, like, what?
well, I don't know. Maybe there's a yen problem going on. Lord knows the economy's going up because of this. So, I mean.
Oh, no, it's the 90s again. No.
No, not the 90s.
Well, it's better than the 30s, and we weren't even born for that. So, anyway.
I would just
Abraham Lincoln with the choke slam.
I was gonna say Theodore Roosevelt.
1867.
The Great Depression into the freaking. Oh, Lord. A history lesson for you.
Oh, man, that should be a finisher. That'd be a great name for a finisher, the Great Depression. That'd be incredible.
Damn.
Potato pancake suplex.
Yeah, don't steal that. That's mine now. That's not your...
You
No.
can have it.
For a moment, I thought that's Evil's new finisher name. Anyway,
damn.
I said what I said.
Grateful
Anyway,
Dead.
I'm ready for fun now for the next match. I'm really ready.
Yes.
Are you?
I think he's ready, and since he's ready so much, we'll have him lead off because for what this was on paper, I'll give credit where credit's due. Well, Freeman came out and showed out, and arguably one of the longest matches on the card too, as it was crowning for the inaugural IWGP Global Championship with the Rebel Savior of New Japan Pro Wrestling, now christened David Finlay, taking on Death Rider John Moxley, and I love the Assassin's Creed Syndicate-inspired entrance of the last real assassin, apparently, Will Ospreay. And these three men, they showed us what a triple threat truly can be, especially when you try and count out one man entirely. I'm not going to say anything else. Kuzon, the floor is yours because it sounds like this is the match you're excited to talk about, so take it away. Your thoughts on this?
So it's no secret that I've been a big fan of Will Ospreay for some time now. Whenever I gush about any kind of wrestling, I'll always bring up Will Ospreay. And I've mentioned this during the last stream that I feel a deep connection with Will Ospreay because obviously he's from England, you know. The fact that Will Ospreay has a way to connect with both a Western and a Japanese crowd with the way that he does it, in the sense of he just opens up like an open book. He's the most genuine and honest person you will ever see in professional wrestling. He is a complete sweetheart. He is a darling. He is a murderer in the ring. He destroys people in the ring with that hidden blade. The big thing coming out of this is the mannerisms and everything that are going into the match. Not just the moves and everything. The big communication that's happening between him and John Moxley when they're beating the hell out of David Finlay. Man, they made David Finlay look like a megastar in this, by the way. Like, David Finlay's not looked this good in a while. I am not a fan of Assassin's Creed. However, this presentation with Will Ospreay coming out with the Jack the Ripper hat and the hidden blade in his sleeve, and then him popping up with his elevated theme
and out the sky.
his like a little stumble as well kind of like added to it. I think this is Will Ospreay's best entrance that he's ever done. I think the presentation to it is absolutely perfect. I think the fact that it was officially endorsed by Ubisoft as well, kind of going into like video game territory here. Ubisoft have this really weird thing where they don't really work with a lot of people, but as of late, they've been working with a lot of people. A lot of like YouTube creators, a lot of Twitch creators, any person who's like any kind of content creator who has like a really good idea, and then being able to expand that into like, think about it this way, like if we really like take this back, pro wrestling is a very niche thing. It's not accepted even to this day. I think this year actually like it is the most acceptable, but even to this day, if you bring wrestling up into like the real world in terms of like relevance, not a lot of people really care about pro wrestling.
Unfortunately.
But the fact that Ubisoft were able to like not only like recognize what's going on with Will Ospreay as a character, but also fully endorse what's going on, help him out with any of the kind of like the IPs and the ideas and the like giving him the music as well, like the prelude before his theme kicks in. All of that takes a lot of stuff backstage with like contracts and stuff like that. And the fact that they got all of that synced up, ready to go, no issues whatsoever. Seeing everything that happened on Twitter with the Twitter account like fully endorsing it, sharing everything that like they mentioned to each other, a full childhood dream like being able to be accomplished for Will Ospreay is a big deal. And like it's little things that like this that really make me happy when I watch pro wrestling. I can genuinely feel a good like a feel good atmosphere before the match. And not only that, like this match was a fantastic match.
It really was. I was blown away by what I saw. By all three men, particularly. To your point, while you continue, this might have been David Finlay's best match since being part of Japan Pro Wrestling.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
So all in all, I would definitely. I don't know what the rating was this for good old Dave. I don't think it really matters, but like in terms of like Will Ospreay matches, because last year he got a 6-star match. Is that correct?
This guy's gonna retire off this star.
No, I'm just saying like as like a marquee of like 6-star match, whatever, you know.
Yeah. You know.
I feel like this match in terms of not only pro wrestling moves, in terms of storytelling, in terms of a good final goodbye for Will Ospreay, presenting Jon Moxley in a completely like different way. I don't know like if anyone got that impression, but like Jon Moxley having like a completely different like kind of like mannerisms to him.
A focused attack, I would say. A much more focused approach, still violent as ever. But I get kind of what you're saying.
I absolutely loved this match to bits. It is my favorite match on the card. I even loved what David Finlay had going on. That is definitely what I would wear if I was a pro wrestler. Everything he was wearing was absolutely gorgeous. I think it was like top tier. Everything perfect. 10 out of 10.
All right, then. Wow. Well, bottom line, Xero, perfectly right. But hey, if it takes that much punishment to make a name for yourself and inaugurally define a championship, I think David Finlay fit the bill and accomplished that achievement. So, Xero, your thoughts on this triple threat dance, which, well, again, we ripped David Finlay off from the get-go. Hell, Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley wrote David Finlay off from the get-go at the press conference over 2 non-alcoholic beers and 5 minutes to eliminate what many people I thought would be the buffer or the fall guy. In this case, he became the guy that got the win with a new movie pulled out called Overkill, literally trying to break Will Ospreay's neck. And he pinned Will Ospreay to get it. So, Xero, your thoughts on this?
Bruh. From the entrances to the ring, Will Ospreay being a literal assassin, Jon Moxley being Red Hood, and David Finlay just being David Finlay. This whole match was actually it was really fun. They whooped David Finlay's ass for nearly 5 minutes. They went on their promise. But I swear, the press conference that was hilarious. Both of them was like, "Why the fuck is he here? You have no right to be here." It was like, why? They over here like, bro, you wasn't supposed to be here. What are you doing? Then like during the match, they whooped his ass. They literally beat him from ring to crowd to ringside. It was like, man, it was Groundhog Day. Bro, even though they
Well, that got me
lost
number one.
and
Golly.
even though Dave won, we still won because they whooped his ass like from like from area to area. Like they were fucking him up.
From
Powerbomb
playing
him
for a
through a table.
table, for the clothesline on the barricade, for the
Yes, they
2-on-1 assault setup finish before the War Dogs came in,
yeah.
to John
Like,
Moxley literally driving Will Ospreay into David Finley's fucking chest.
yeah. It's like this match was really good. I Moxley, okay, because you probably I'm going to see where I'm coming from. Whenever a certain wrestler goes to Japan, they are a totally completely different person,
Oh, accurate.
which is hilarious because it's like one prime example is Hulk Hogan. When he went to Japan, he put on his working boots, bro. He like, yeah, I gotta work, bro. They
Rip
ain't
Antonio
they let
Noki, by the way, folks. Put that in
yeah.
perspective.
Noki probably like, hey man, we gotta work, all right. If not, right or left, which one you want. But but it's like Mox was more of a gaijin for the whole match. He was basically like he wasn't AEW Mox. Well, he kind of was, but he was more like I'm going to work. I am going to be Red Hood. I am going to fight to the bitter end because Mox was not having it with
No, he
anybody.
was like, "You're gonna keep me down. You're gonna have to kill me." He kind of
Yeah.
like the living reincarnated boogeyman that wouldn't stay down. Calls himself the boogeyman of New
Yes.
Japan for a reason. And at some points, these men were literally taking each other out so hard they were just falling in capacity, unconscious
Yeah.
in the covers, and we nearly had split-second decisions here and there on all three men's
Yeah.
behalf.
And it's like
Improv.
Will Ospreay. We all know Will Ospreay. He will give it his all. Like
Oh, bar none.
like from him being a spot monkey to him growing up to like being a tactical wrestler, from him now to just evolve into like an absolutely fucking star. It's amazing. This
And all
man,
he did was be himself, and he has been made and
yeah,
defined in Japan Pro Wrestling last 8 years.
yeah, like he has evolved. It's fucking crazy. And it's like throughout the whole match, I was just like, this is a star making match. I do not like David Finley, but I was expecting him to win somehow because because how the cards are lined up. The smart pick is David Finley because it makes sense too. And like, I was not David. He was clever because he knew he was going to get jumped. So he's like, "Hey, yo, I need my dogs out here too, bro.
There you go.
I'm about to get my ass whooped. I need y'all with me."
Should have brought out the gun from DDT.
Well, clearly after Alex Coughlin went in the table.
Bro, that gave me the greatest fucking image of Alice Carglin stuck in the table, not on the table, in the table.
In the table, yes.
And I bet that hurts like a motherfucker.
All those
Because
splitters.
I bet your back is slit.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy. But
Kudos
like
to him taking that, by the way. Wow.
he got a good nap because he probably passed out. We're like, just be like, so like, but match was phenomenal. It was phenomenal from bell to bell. The entrances to the match to like the spots. It's like David do look like an absolute threat because the thing about him, like, this is his best match. But the thing about him being a threat is like it's not because he's a good wrestler. It's more because of what he could do. Because in certain scenarios, you could tell he knows what he has to do. In scenarios like this, he needs his dogs, and like he could slide into. Plus, it's a triple threat. You could win by just sliding in, like if both opponents literally hit their main move, you could slide in, pin 1, 2, 3. Ha ha! I won. Fuck you. Go to hell.
And he nearly did that at one point, but somehow Will Ospreay kicked out.
Because Osprey is literally the goat.
Yeah,
is
that's
built
why Finley put out
absolutely
first
different.
ever from Into Oblivion into the overkill, as it calls that overhead exposed knee strike, and he stacked Will Ospreay up and got the win. And
Yeah.
to your point, again, this is the son, by the way, folks, of Fit Finley, so it's not like he's stupid. But literally, he was the underdog. He was the undersold content in this match. But from the presentation to the story told to the result that seemed accurate to call from the get-go, you didn't figure out all of what all three men presented in defining what this championship could be, which honestly at this point it might be an homage to the IWGP Continental Championship, but truly it has carved its own legacy out of what these three men did inaugurally. So mad respect to everybody here, and honestly may not like him, but you damn sure gotta give respect to David Finley, because believe it or not, whether you look at it or not, he didn't pin Jon Moxley, he pinned Will Ospreay, but he just outlasted two of the best, meanest motherfuckers in the game.
He just survived a whole ass whooping from Mom Joxley and Billiam Asprey, bro. He just survived a match with Billiam.
You're stealing my shit, bastard.
No, man, I've been saying Billiam first, but like,
fair enough.
But like the thing is that right after the match, David got all cocky, went up and Nick. He like, haha, Nick, I'm a champion, not you. Haha, fuck you. Push him. Got beat. Got chased out from the arena just to have a figure press like, yeah, man, I'm the best. Then Nick jumped over the table and whooped his ass. Bro,
that was hilarious.
David, he is the guy to whoop his ass. David getting his ass whooped twice in one day by freaking Billiam and John, all the way to Nick, who's not even signed, and took the belt. Bro, how are you going to let another man take your belt you just won? You just a disappointment, bro.
Statement made. And when you look at David Finley and the former Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, you can kind of look at both the men as underdogs, because why Dolph Ziggler got to the Heavyweight Championship on a couple of occasions, he never was the focus, the guy. He was always kind of like, just there alongside. And when you look at Finn Juice, who had more of a drive in that team, it seemed. Juice Robinson. David Finley was just along for the ride. David Finley right now is carving his own path, and I would argue to say that Nick Nemeth is doing the same thing. He's not here just to show off. He's here to take over. And I'm very curious to see what he and David Finley do one-on-one against each other, because both these men are out with a point to prove. And arguably right now, they're on the strongest run their careers could be at, because Nick Nemeth's got the whole world right now to pursue. And David Finley believes he can recreate the world from the dirt up.
Yeah, he the most wanted,
Yeah, America's most wanted, New Japan's number one target. And of course, we know what that led to at New Year's Dash and what's to come during the new beginning. Lord help us. That being said, Michael, your thoughts on this entire match, all three men's presentation, and what is your outlook now looking at the brand new Global Heavyweight Championship?
It's incredible. We're talking about like the minute the bell goes off, this match is starting off with some serious heat. The midpoint of the match is incredible. The table spot is fantastic. The finisher for finisher shit is insanely good. The entire match is well focused and well paced. And honestly, to see Mox wrestle in not a completely different style, but in a, how do I put it? In a format that isn't usual for him, because of how often he wrestles in a very specific way in like AEW and most of like the American scene.
Yes.
It's a nice breath of fresh air. It's so good. This is by far probably the best match on the entire card.
Yeah, again, when we talked about the flow and the outlook of WrestleKingdom, I argue to say that the last 4 matches did what they needed to do. We just talked about the junior heavyweights. We talked about this inaugural championship. We, of course, talked about the story 18 years in the making for Destino versus trying to break convention. And then you have somebody that believes so much in Inokiism versus one of the very first students of Antonio Inoki in what was Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson. And again, from a triple threat belter to an incredibly powerful symbolism one-on-one encounter. Also, for the first time ever in his career, Bryan Danielson had fucking pyro. Just gonna put that out there right now. About damn time. This was so damn good. And by the way, I love the embrace of Red Shoes Umino and Bryan Danielson. You could tell how happy Red Shoes was to see this guy in a New Japan ring in the Tokyo
Big
Dome.
hug.
I'm just
Big
saying.
shoes.
Gotta love Red Shoes Umino. Okay, so seriously though, the focus here, you want to talk about things being personal. This was personal to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. He had a vendetta. One thing on his mind: break Kazuchika Okada's right arm. Prevent the Rainmaker from being employed or even happening again. Because Bryan Danielson believes that Okada's mentality cannot match his. While Okada at less than 100% can be great than most wrestlers on the planet, Bryan Danielson at even 50% is better than 99 wrestlers on the freaking planet. And he's proved that because Bryan Danielson has persevered through adversity and adapted through injury. He believes that Kazuchika Okada has never been tested at. And for the first time, arguably, I believe in Okada's career, and we're talking about the guy that's been tested joint manipulation-wise by Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. on countless occasions. I think Bryan Danielson gave Okada one of his toughest tests to date in a long damn time. That being said, Michael, I throw this to you. Your thoughts on this very unique special singles match that ended in Okada humbled, but also given respect.
This is okay. I'm gonna try to format this in my brain first before I say anything.
Good luck.
This match is not Okada's best work. It's very good, but it's not his best work.
And it wasn't
especially
about
against, especially against Bryan. They have definitely had better matches. However, as a main event for a Wrestle Kingdom, it's very hard to not like this match. It is well paced. It is well executed. Both men are really putting their best foot forward. They are trying their asses off to get something going, and they do a great fucking job. Okada is definitely letting Bryan take some liberties from time to time, if you pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
My God, are they just doing a lot of really stellar work in this one match. They are doing phenomenal. But
like
when
jacket?
it comes to their work, like as a whole, you definitely go back and find some better matches. But this is very good. Not to discredit this match is very good.
It took on a different identity because it was a test not of physicality, but mentality. Again, Bryan Danielson wanted to test Okada to see, can you adapt through injury like I have my career? Okada said verbatim, nobody's been through the shit I've been through, the punishment, the tests, the challenges I've been through. Input Bryan Danielson. I think he one-upped you, and just saying. And again, this is the guy that beat Okada with a broken arm, 10-minute extended continued wrestling time last year at Forbidden Door. Yet, it was Okada that busted not only Bryan Danielson's arm, but his orbital bone. And yet still Bryan Danielson looked stronger here than Okada did. And in the end of the day, Okada did get the Rainmaker out. Not once, but twice. But he was still grasping his arm at the very end. He was tested. And again, both men, that bow of respect. That's all you need to see. This wasn't about stealing the show. This was about making a statement on both men's behalf. And that's what this is all about for me. And that's what I love. I love when wrestling takes a different focus than about who's better, who's the winner, who's the loser. Here it was about who could endure, who can adapt. And at the end of the day, can we both deliver? Both men prove that. And that's my biggest takeaway from this. Xero, your thoughts on this match here. And again, the subtle show of respect afterwards. You think about Okada and this mentality of F the kids. Why he was humbled by somebody that arguably outweighs his experience. Here was the first time that maybe Okada, by the way, what a fucking robe. Not coming out, by the way, in the black gear adorned by Antonio Inoki, by the way. Silver, not white, besides the robe. Just saying. Maybe Okada's going to look a different direction this year because we don't know what the future holds for the Rainmaker in the long haul. But, Xero, your thoughts on this follow-up singles exhibition, but first time ever Tokyo Dome encounter. And do you think these two need a rubber match at this point now? Technically, it is 1-1.
Bro, Okada came out, had the robe, walked left with the UV light, and the robe changed colors, bro. I was like, dog.
How?
Okada really putting in the bro. Okada was like, you know what? This show has been on the up and down. Let me do something real quick. I was like, bro.
He reached into the New Japan World Pocket money and said, "This is the time the drip needs to be at maximum retention against the Viking pirate over here."
I can imagine how much that thing is worth. Continue.
Dog, my man's over here like, oh, you're mad because I'm styling on you. Just be like, bro, this man came about. My man said, you know what? It's time to level up, bro. Yeah, transform. Thundercats. Let's go.
Accurate. I love that, by the
way. Bro, my man was like, he was focused, you know. But like Brian came out with Pyro. Man,
his entrance is weird.
My man's like, yeah, man, it's time to go. I'm doing a Brock Lesnar hop. Let's go, baby.
There's a reason why we're called him the perfect wrestler. It's not about his presentation, it's about his execution. Damn it. Continue.
My man was over here like they had a good match. Like this could have been better because I would still say their first encounter was better. But they still delivered. It's like whatever, bro. Like the thing is that like Brian came out looking like Solid Snake, Solid Dragon with a damn eye patch and shit. I'm like, all right, bro. So it's like
accurate.
The match itself was good. It kind of like abrupted, like it kind of ended abrupted, which kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, okay. But
he saw the second knee coming, prevented the second one, and finally caught Brian Danielson with a full-fledged Rainmaker after catching him with landslide. But boy, he paid the price for it, though.
Bro, my man, Brian was tearing that arm apart. But I love the storytelling and the selling from Okada because it's like he destroyed my arm. I got you, Larry.
You couldn't capitalize on that one Rainmaker, that's for damn sure. About the second key, and he found himself in that same spot at Forbidden Door, and you see the angst and the worry and the panic in his face.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tap out. Then at one point, the hammer of the elbows, and Okada's having none of it, trying to level up to Bryan Danielson, and then he got neutralized for a moment.
My man did the Yakuza, pause the game, use an item, regain health, then unpause the game and just keep on going. Like my man was like, but like this should have closed the show. And I have a reason why, because
get to that here in a moment.
If Naito like already did his thing, this match should have closed the show. The only reason why I said that by a match standpoint, not by storytelling standpoint.
Right.
The reason why I said that is because as we get to the main event, I'll explain more reason why. But
that's fair.
Back to the match, good shit. With the red shoes, no thing was. It was kind of cute though. It was kind of cute.
Well, again, you think about the longevity of Red Shoes Umino in New Japan Pro Wrestling and the history of him and Bryan Danielson. Again, who does Bryan Danielson not know? Who has Bryan Danielson not influenced in a positive capacity in this wrestling industry?
Right. What connections do he got? I need to know because he knows everybody. What the fuck? But
Again,
like,
Listen,
we're-
Brian decided to stay off the internet, and he decided to have personal connections with real people.
my man,
And the first thing he said when he got to Japan wasn't, "Oh man, I can't wait to have some matches." He went, "I gotta go become friends with Red Shoe."
he's hey,
That's what I gotta do. He's
The-
so
the-
powerful, we don't even know it. That
the
man
goat-
can slide from the ramp to the ring. We've just
The
never
goat-
seen him do it before.
The GOAT of professional wrestlers encounters the GOAT of referees. Respect.
Oh, dude, Red Shoes is great. He's one of the best. He is like up there with like how cool he is.
Yeah.
It was like a
Alright.
wrestling empire thing from like an M. Dickey game. Like where they go like, shake my hand, give me a hug, kiss me.
I don't know if we go that far, but I mean, again, Brian Danielson, just a smile, and then the bell rings, and Brian Danielson goes into full-fledged, I'm gonna break your arm, dude, mode. I was just like, I love the way this was just awesome.
I think Brian, I think he broke character before the match started because he's like, damn, I'm in the Wrestle Kingdom, bro. I'm in the Tokyo Dome. Oh, shoot.
Well, to be fair, he did say he was in there before with Rock Romero, who was on commentary, but it never was at this capacity. So yeah, it probably was a special moment itself, like when Eddie Kingston finally felt like he was in his sanctuary, stepping into Corrigan Hall the first time ever last year.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, Mama's like, oh, shoot. I'm actually in this joint.
There you go.
But yeah, good match. I'm happy. They shown respect, bowed down, and if they ever have a rematch, they better hurry up.
Well,
because
considering
Brian's
Danielson-
time is coming. Brian's
Yeah,
time is
and-
coming.
I'm just gonna put it out there right now. If his last match does not involve the final countdown and Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium All In, then someone's dropped the ball on the biggest money match you can make right now in this industry. I said what I said. Before I give it to Kuzon, Casey, by the way, is feeling a little bit rough. He's going to rest and recuperate. Appreciates us. Hopes you have a good show. Casey, we'll see you next time for G1 Climax. Nothing but love to you, brother. Arigato.
Oh,
All
big
right,
sneak
Kuzon.
off.
Hey, come on, guys. You know what it is.
Get
All
your
right,
head up,
Kuzon. What's your thoughts on this unique challenge put forth towards the Rainmaker in his home by Bryan Danielson? And do you think Okada passed the test that Bryan Danielson put him up towards? And what was your take on this match?
I thought I would disagree saying that this should have been the main event. I think it was a very good match though. I definitely agree with like what everyone's saying, especially the jacket. Like that was a crazy idea. I'm really happy that like Okada has like some crazy ideas for his Wrestle Kingdom entrances. He definitely like wants to put a statement out there sometimes with his entrances. I'm like, okay, bro. Like I get
have
it.
money.
You're Mr.
Look at my money.
I
bitches.
Yeah, look at me
Look
with
at
my
my
like
money.
celebrity wife.
Yeah, man. I am.
I have dollars fly down from the heavens. You know what? You have poverty. Give me your money.
I am
He is
king
the-
from Tekken.
He is the
Literally, I am king
experience
from tech.
from the
Yes.
virtual screen breakthrough at Wrestle Kingdom 14 to the freaking dropping out from the stars and opening up the vault that is the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom 11 to the iconic coin drop and walk at Wrestle Kingdom. He is that presentation you look for at Wrestle Kingdom.
Go Shiozaki. I am Noah. Okada. I am New Japan.
I am Japan. Give me your money. My worst matches are WWE's best matches. Kiss my ass and suck my ball.
I definitely agree.
So to say,
Oh, God.
put Okada and bad match in the same sentence. That's a bigger rarity than put WWE and 5-star match in the same sentence.
I definitely think the idea, I definitely stand by what I said in the presentation stream, was that I wish this was Kazuchika Okada versus Kaido. Just for this, I understand like this is much better for bringing in more numbers especially from the Western audience. But
Right.
in terms of like a story to be finished, I definitely feel like Kaido and Okada could have done something great here. I definitely think it was really funny watching Brian looking at the pyro and going, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, he never got that before.
You know, I
Now, how to
think
make Brian's entrance better? Listen to the Kids Bop version of his theme, and it's way fucking funnier. Because that turnaround, he goes, "Huh?" It's so much better.
no, but like I definitely fit. This match was long, by the way. This was kind of the bit where I was kind of getting fatigued. Definitely.
Well, considering what
Um,
we've been through and we're reaching the tail end of the card,
Yeah.
I feel that was the case. But again, Okada, Brian Dales, and try to keep us drawn into the fact that is Okada's arm about to pop out of socket? Will he tap out? How far is Brian Dales willing to go? And he even got a yes chance, to your point, to bring the audience back into phase before he hit that psycho knee that nearly pinned the Rainmaker.
I think Brian should have won, but I know for a fact that was never going to be a possibility considering
Not
this
the
is
Tokyo Dome against Okada.
Okada's last Tokyo Dome match.
He's the final boss of New Japan. You don't beat Okada on his home turf.
No, you do beat Okada on his home turf. It's to show a point.
Okada over here like
You gotta,
give me
you
your
gotta beat
energy.
that motherfucker's ass and bring his health bar down to 0, and then you gotta look at him and say, "What rain has been made, punk?"
Jay White learned that the hard way from WrestleKingdom 13 to WrestleKingdom 17. I'm just saying.
I think everything that they did here was very good, and I think a lot of people will be very happy with what they did. I don't know what Okada's planning on doing next, because I know obviously I don't know when his contract's coming up, and I don't think that he's planning on wrestling more for a while. I think he's probably going to take it easy for a bit.
Well, you consider that the man's in his mid-30s. He's been doing this straight now, the constant New Japan for over a decade. Even he said
I'm a
that maybe
dad.
that too. That too. And
How's your child doing?
Maybe he's got another decade, I think, left in him. It is one of those things we always talk about, a wrestler's mentality. When do you realize that you need to slow down or you need to know when to cut it off altogether? Brian Danielson, to the point. He's in the tail end of his full-time run as a professional wrestler, and we still don't know what the end game is for him. We just know the end game is going to be some point this year. Same for Sting, and we know the end game for him is going to be in less than 3 months at Revolution. So what's Okada's next plan, and is that his end game? That remains to be seen. So
He's going to be a YouTuber. Because everyone's leaving YouTube.
Pull that Taiji.
There are some slots to keep,
Taiji's still on YouTube. I think his channel's still doing well.
No, that's just a theory. An Okada theory. Thanks for watching.
God.
I feel like the only thing Okada's going to be doing while he's being a dad is going to be getting on the Twitter or Instagram and just constantly posting Manchester City pictures with him in the Manchester City jersey just to tag Tony Khan in, because Tony Khan owns Fulham, which I find really funny.
I could see that, honest to God. I could actually see that, for being perfectly honest. All right. Well, before we briefly talk about the New Year's Dash aftermath that's definitely set up the new beginning, we, of course, have to culminate this Wrestle Kingdom Simple Take with what Xero, I'm sure, has a lot to say about, because he loomed too. So you'll lead this one off as we talk about what was officially the main event. Destino defined. Finally, God, thanks, Night. You've been going at this damn thing since 2006. Tetsuya Naito went after the IWGP World Championship, honestly an accessory, I think, at first, if you look at his mentality, against Sonata. And again, you look at the journey of both these men, the parallels drawn within. Sonata defined in America, in All Japan, under Keiji Muto, under Wrestling One. Tetsuya Naito defined a Stardust genius, New Japan Pro Wrestling, rejected by the fans, humbled by the wrestling genius Keiji Muto. Then became ungovernable in Mexico, redefined himself in New Japan, brought Los Ingobernables de Japón into New Japan, and with his pareja, Sonata, joining along his side, helping him win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in the first place against Okada. And we fast forward now to where we are in 2024. what has become the two front runners right now in New Japan Pro Wrestling as far as involvement, presentation, and storytelling. Just five guys versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. Well, Xero, the floor is yours. Again, I know you had a lot to say about this during the preview, and now we're here on the review. So take it away. Destino was finally defined, but did the Destino live up to your hype?
This match is some bullshit, bro.
Damn.
I have to agree.
This
Ouch.
match was just some bullshit, bro.
Do tell.
Okay, when I saw this, right,
Yeah.
there's something that doesn't click with them. It's like you could tell some things does not. You could tell they don't click that well. I don't know what it is, but they just can't click with each other. Because there were some spots that kind of got me like, and yeah, they kind of fucked up. It's just this match was just boring. It was just like it they don't mesh well. Like this match was really underwhelming. Like Sonata looked like a whole different person. Ever since he won the title, he just shaved his freaking beard. He just cut his hair. He just wore on baby blue tights like he's a freaking generic car. But it's like
Came out in orange though this time. Shout out to his former Asian Tag Team Championship partner, Manabu Soya, who 2 days prior, why don't you put this in perspective? 2 days prior, Manabu Soya challenged Keno for the GHC Heavyweight Championship, and those two are in the same fashion, of course. Congo, would you say that match was
better?
All right.
That match was better. The reason why that was better is because they clicked. They did some crazy shit in that match. They was going ham. This one, they did not go ham. There were some spots here and there, but this match did not click at all. Because it's just like it feels so generic. And it's like, yes, there was some cool things here and there, but at the same time, the match did not feel like it was a closure. I feel like I didn't get no closure in this match. Because it's like the whole thing is that Naito was a whole asshole. This man buried the absolute shit out of him during the little YouTube interviews, bro.
You like baseball, right?
It's not just
I'll never let that go.
Oh Lord.
Bro, like he buried Sonata. He said nobody cares about him. That belt means nothing to me. I have no connection with the belt. What?
What do you mean by that?
I mean,
Naito. I like baseball.
Fair, he held both titles separately. He never held a conjoined product, and I don't think that was ever his vision when he passed those off to Ibushi. So at that moment, I can understand where he's coming from. But also, this is Naito. Yeah. He's tranquilo. He doesn't give a shit.
Naito's like, bro, how you gonna say the fans don't even click with this man, bro? This man sucks. Sonata, you was nothing before you joined me, bro. I actually gave you some character. Look at you now. What the fuck? Like Naito, chill, dog.
There is no chill with Naito. There never will be.
My man, he's over here. It's like him kick back over here, be like, "Yeah, man, I really don't care. Yeah, man. Yeah, the belt. Yeah, it's just a toy, you know." Nobody cares about the belt.
A gateway now to doing roll calls.
Sorry, it's a decoration, you know. This right here, the IWGP World Heavyweight title being held by the Great Muta. That is what I want. But this is a toy, a trinket.
Well,
trinket on the
Christmas decoration.
I think prior to the point, what Xero's saying is accurate. But I do think afterwards, now that he has it, he realized now what he could do with it and how important it can be to leave roll calls over the world. He can't do that unless he has this championship. So I think he's come to accept that. And so far, he hasn't tarnished it or obliterated it.
He says he's going to.
Oh, no.
It's just the fact that, like, this is our champion now. But
Nice.
like,
Nice.
yeah. But the thing is that like the match, I felt nothing. There was no closure, and it's just like I feel bad for Sonata because I feel like Sonata tried his best. Same with Naito, but they just can't click, which sucks. And it's like Naito wins, cool beans. But what happened afterwards was actually pretty kind of funny though.
Yeah, someone else trying to stop the roll call again. This time it was
Eva was like, Eva came out of cut like,
Jesus.
bitch, bro. You say you don't want the belt? I guess I'll take it. I'm like, really?
Oh,
And then
Lord.
Sanaa like, nah, stop, bro. Here the belt. I got you well, man. I was like, what just happened? All that happened in a matter of seconds. I'm like, what just happened? I was so confuggled. I was flabbergasted. I was led astray. I was confused, flummoxed, flabbergasted, and everything. I was like, bro, what just happened?
Apparently, even wanted to call himself once again the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion like he did last year in the fall.
He was basically saying, but I kind of see where Evil was coming from because he did saw the interview. He was basically like, so you don't want the belt? I'll take it if you want. But
As much as I hate House of Torture, I will say this about Evo. He actually has made a presence in New Japan, and he actually does care about the championship, and I will not deny that.
Which is insane because Naito doesn't, but Evo does. And it's like, what? But after that, with the roll call, it was sweet. Like I dig it, but I wished right after that whole thing, he would have added Sonata because Sonata helped him fight off Evil. If he would have did that, I would have been like, amen.
I don't think Naito will ever show that much of a humble side to him, even towards his
most
former
definitely
Pareja,
not.
but I do understand where you're coming from, considering considering again how long Naito and Sonata have been tied together to each other in this journey to get to this moment. But to Sonata and Naito's points of their own perspectives on themselves, Sonata was trying to break convention, but he was already looking past this, looking towards the future. Why Naito wanted to live in the now and do as much right now as possible. And I guess now we're just waiting to see if he gets that roll call he wants across all parts of the world in Japan, including Mazda Stadium, now that he's IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, Kuzon, I don't know if you like baseball now, but your take on this.
I love baseball.
I'm now at the helm of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
You don't like baseball?
I love Wii Sports. It's my favorite game.
Oh God.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, and like I expected a lot more from this match, and it sadly, just because of recency bias, it reminded me a lot of what was going on with like
Ibushi.
Yeah, like Ibushi's match, and I was like, damn it, dude! Like there was a lot of botches in this match, and like a botch doesn't really ruin a match for me. It's just very noticeable. Yes. But when it happens so many times in a match, I'm kind of in a feeling of, okay, we need to slow down and reset what we're doing during the match here. We need to figure it out and like try again. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like they never took that initiative to do that. I feel like Naito was the one who was guiding the match a lot more than Sonata.
Yeah.
I feel like Sonata was definitely trying to keep up and struggling. I've got nothing against Sonata. I think he's a great wrestler. I definitely don't feel like his reign as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion has been a good one.
Which is funny because, just to put this perspective, guys, he's the longest reigning champ since this title's existence and the most successful defenses.
Oh shit,
I feel
he
that's
is.
due to circumstances, though. Because I would imagine that New Japan would probably get the idea that like people are leaving near enough around Wrestle Kingdom. They've kind of smartened up to what kind of happens. So it's kind of hard to structure who's going to be your champion for the next year when everyone's leaving, and you don't know who's leaving either. So from a company standpoint, I can understand that, but I also think that there are a lot of people who could probably run with the IWGP title. I definitely like don't have strong feelings on Naito being champion. Like I when the champion's saying I don't care, like why should I care? You know, I'm no question have no
That's
question about
fair.
Naito's
Yeah.
ability. You know, but what he's telling me through his promos that nothing matters, then it's kind of hard to get behind the champion a little bit. You know, I would appreciate it if Naito would tell me otherwise or give it to someone else. Like soon enough. I don't know, like in my mind anyway, it would have been Tomatonga. But now Tomatonga's not gonna be here anymore. So like I don't really know who your next challenger should be. It's definitely not evil. It's definitely not
It's
evil at
definitely
all.
naughty.
So
Evil's going
yeah.
to be pursuing the Never Open Championship as we learn, or help us, during the beginning. As
Won't
New
win.
Beginning set up so much. We got Shota Umino versus Ren Narita, and after what happened on New Year's Dash, Sonata and Cincinnati, to your point, are going to run it back, and maybe they realize what they did, and maybe they want to, re, you know, avenge that and give us what we thought could be the match that two men that have been connected to each other for 18 years are possible of doing, especially because it's not the first time these two have gone one-on-one. We've seen better one-on-one encounters. It was literally the one-on-one encounter of Sonata and Naito that defined Sonata to leave LIJ and join Taiji and what became just five guys. That started this resurgence or reset, honestly, of Sonata in the first place. But continue.
I definitely don't think it's Dolph Ziggler by a long shot
That'd be
at all
interesting.
whatsoever.
That'd be
I
interesting,
I
though.
would
Not gonna lie.
I have strong feelings on Dolph, and I don't mean that in a sense of like I don't like him because I don't like him as a person or anything like that.
Right.
The dude who is like, you know, him, like dude's a absolute like star in his own mind. But in terms of his mentality towards like wrestling over the past like 15 years and stuff like that, I've not been happy with the way he's kind of handled his relationships with other wrestlers. I've not been too trustworthy with him, but that's just me. That's nothing
That's
to do
fair.
with like anything. Um, I don't know what the answer is for the next IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. I would probably, and this is just me, I would probably put David Finlay on the front for a championship match. I can't think of anyone else you would put on the front line to go up against it. And I know he's just won the global championship, but I would think a run with two belts would probably be a fresh look on what is going on with the IWGP championship. I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna bring in other people from other companies to also hold this belt. I don't think that's what New Japan will do. They've never done that before, and
Right.
I don't think I don't think giving the belt to people who have already been a champion is a good idea at this point.
So you feel
Um,
like there should be a new first time defined, and that's kind of like to Sanada's point. What's been the convention at Wrestle Kingdom? Again, Zero, you researched it. It was Okada, it was Naito, it was Tanahashi, pretty much constantly throughout Wrestle Kingdom history, with the exception of one time, Ibushi. So it is one of those things where I kind of understand where Kuzan's coming from, but I look at the history of this title, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I look at the strongest representation of it. Besides Will Ospreay, that relinquished to the injury, the only one that was able to uphold the weight, the pressure, the value of it to a degree, I would say, was probably Shingo Takagi. And of course, he lost it to Kazuchika Okada. But you were talking about first that never held this title and who could possibly be in this picture. Well, let's just go ahead and look at New Year's Dash, and maybe that can give us a little bit of foreshadowing. We know it's Sonata versus Naito 2 because Taka Michinoku got a win. Yeah, let me say that again. Taka Michinoku got the win via Michinoku driver.
Baby.
I still am over the moon about that. Planning Bushi, the fall guy of LIJ, calling it as I see it. We know we got the steel cage match set up with the War Dogs United Empire, and some of United Empire needs to step up since Will Ospreay is now elite, and following the match at the beginning, he will be only focusing his work mostly in the States. He won't be gone for New Japan, but his focus will be basically, rerouted. And then you look at TMDK, at Kosei Fujita and Shane Hayes and Mikey Nichols, who got the win over Combat Chaos. What a 8-person tag match, by the way. That was awesome. They're, of course, going to have the 6-man titles. And Zack Sabre Jr., who, of course, just lost the Inter World Television Championship. He's going after Bryan Danielson one-on-one in New Japan to see if he can finally tap the man out. Keyword, tap the man out. And Bryan Danielson's like, you're not tapping me the fuck out. So these two are going to literally try and break each other in half. So I'm all for that. That should be interesting. So just looking at the landscape and thinking about what you just said as far as first, I would dare say Zack Sabre Jr. gets the win of Bryan Danielson. Look at how many times Zack Sabre Jr. has bested Tetsuya Naito and how many times they've gone one-on-one. And the fact that Zack Sabre Jr. has not been the champion New Japan. I would probably put him in line maybe. But I also know, after looking at Battle in the Valley, spoiler alert, it's Tetsuya Naito versus Jon Moxley for the first time ever in Windy City.
I would agree with you with Zack Sabre Jr. Considering he's just lost the belt. So I didn't really think about that, honestly. And I mentioned before that, like, Tanahashi, like, kind of getting into graps, like, full-on hands-on with Zack Sabre Jr., probably he would be the safest bet.
I would say so. And how many times has Zack Sabre Jr. won the New Japan Cup? Yet to win a G1 Climax, though. Came very close, and Naito cost him that in less than 3 minutes one time, lest we forget. So I think maybe right now, just based on history, possibility, and maybe bring a convention like Sonata wanted, maybe Zack Sabre Jr. is the guy to do it to lead New Japan Pro Wrestling to the future as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I think he's more than capable of it after what he did 1 year to the day as the inaugural World Television Champion. And if they don't have the Intercontinental Championship and this Global Championship is being focused now by David Finlay and Nick Nemeth, apparently, then I say Zack Sabre Jr. is the guy you push towards that right now. So that's my first bet. All right. But still, it is interesting considering how much Naito wants to bring back an outdoor New Japan Pro Wrestling event at Mazda Stadium and wants to lead roll calls now all across Japan and all over the world. And with this title, he could do that. But again, is that enough motivation to have Naito lead New Japan Pro Wrestling this year? I don't know. And again, somebody at United Empire needs to step up very damn soon. Because Will Ospreay is not going to be the guy leading the front all the time anymore either. So, like you said, New Japan, they need to get their shit together. They need to bring new blood. They need to breathe new life into their roster. And chaos needs to be redefined. Because if they don't do Zack Sabre Jr. and Great-O-Khan, all hell, is challenging Taiji Mori in KLPW, and you look at the rest of United Empire, maybe Jeff Cobb could be somebody also. I mean, again, he challenged Tetsuya Naito for the contract loss. And I'm looking at Jeff Cobb. I'm looking at Zack Sabre Jr. to bring convention. But if you look at convention, let's be honest here, guys. They're going to run back Tetsuya Naito versus Kazuchika Okada at some point.
Almost definitely.
Michael, your thoughts on this World Championship match? The roll call finally defined. Did Destino live up to the hype? And what do you see now for the title at New Japan Pro Wrestling now that Naito is the guy again?
All right. I am going to be very fair when I say this, and I can break this whole match down into one word.
Go for it.
Mid.
Oh
Fair
yeah.
enough.
This match is incredibly like middle of the road. It's we've seen this how many fucking times? How many times are we gonna see the big man win the title again? Like, I get it. I get tradition. I get, value, like trying to like add more value to the title. But we're at the point now where the title doesn't look like a belt that you're going to win. It looks like, well, you're going to fight him. And then you're not going to get the title. Like, it looks really bad. Like, I'll say it like this, and I'll be very fair for New Japan because they're a very remarkable company, and I know that they could do it. If they decide to go with Zack Sabre Jr., that's probably the best choice currently. But what they really need to start doing, and this should be like their big thing of 2024, is you have young lions, time to take them out and put them to friggin' work. Like, come on.
Well, that's true. But Shota Umino
I
and
like
Brenda Rita
Naito.
right now, they're tied up, and Yosuji's part of LIJ, but I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah, it's just I like Naito, I really do. But like my I Get Bigger man needs to like take a fucking break for a little while. Like just for
how much damage he's done to his knees, it surprised me he keeps going. But yeah.
Oh, here he goes. Here he comes, Stone Cold Naito now, coming out with
big
the knee
braces.
Well,
You know what's crazy?
about to say, the man refuses.
You know what's crazy though about Naito? He's more of a chaser than a guy who have a long reign.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like Stone Cold.
Except when Austin gets a title, it's blow the fucking roof off like the building. Mm-hmm. When Naito gets the title, we're having this conversation right now.
Unless you're in Hiroshima, where of course he's always welcome with the biggest possible ovation that you can get. Which is why he wants to do just outside Hiroshima, his other home, his biggest inspiration, Mazda Stadium. So
absolutely baseball.
Absolutely.
Baseball said to decide.
Better ways.
Yeah.
Better ways.
Bottom of the ninth, Tetsuya Naito got the home run needed to achieve his roll call destino, and now his other destino, I suppose, is just leading roll calls around the world. And for all we know, that could literally start as soon as Chicago, because he's facing John Moxley for the first time ever one-on-one, and it would not surprise if that title is involved in that match.
Well,
we'll see.
I'm hoping a lot more comes of it, or some kind of context changes.
Yeah.
Just in the state of like something that was gonna add like a bit of new flavor, because I have to be honest, like when it comes to Japanese wrestling, I've been looking elsewhere at the moment. I've definitely been watching a lot more women's like Joshi wrestling. I've been watching more of All Japan since their like NXT thing. I've watched a lot of Noah, like my god, like a lot of Noah, and they've been doing really well. It almost makes me like wonder if at some point, I'm not saying right now, I'm wondering if at some point there's going to be a case where another company is going to kind of like overtake New Japan at some point. And I don't mean on a financial aspect. I just mean on a state of stardom and fan interaction and like, viewership and stuff like that. People being more hyped to watch other stuff than New Japan. I want everyone to enjoy New Japan, of course, but like they need to do something to keep people interested. That's all I want. That's all I ask at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's a very fair analysis. To your point, Go Shisaki started Team Noah as we saw at the New Year's show, and now he's putting up literally "I am Noah" on the line and challenging Keno for the GAC Global Heavyweight Championship at Corrigan Hall. And we all know Go Shiaki has one of the biggest numbers of records with that title. By the way, great match with Toshi Kojima, the Battle of the Strong Arms. I fucking love that. So the fact that Go Shiozaki, though, may not be able to say I'm Noah anymore, whoa, high stakes. In Stardom, of course, Micah now leads Stardom as the World Stardom champion, and she'll be defending that title against the Golden Phoenix, Saya Kamatani. And it looks like things are picking up for the Wonder of Stardom championship and the High Speed championship, to your point. And you look at, the entire Josie. I'm curious what's next also for the women of pro wrestling Noah, and what I really think they are trying to establish a GHC women's division. I think they're more than capable of doing that, especially with Great Buddha's daughter part of that helm.
Oh God.
I'm all for Great Sakuya. It feels like for the first time she saw what light looked like, and she was just having the time of her life, and it was very interesting to behold. That means
lights.
yeah, about to say, and then she missed it and freaking knocked the referee out with a chair.
Awesome.
Only that's Great Buddha would, or daughter Great Buddha, like father, like daughter.
During that match, Cage and Muda was like, shit, this is my.
What have I done?
What
have I unleashed?
What have I created?
Yeah, what have you created? Do you realize what you created? I'm just saying. But again, what do I know? And of course, Starlight Kid is challenging for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, the white belt, as we were talking about her earlier, against probably the name Saroy after beating Mariah. Incredible match, by the way. So, and of course, the Triangle Derby's back in Stardom as well. So it does seem like there is more going on outside New Japan to draw you in. But I would also argue there's probably more going on with New Japan of America than there is with New Japan Japan when you consider the arrivals of Matt Riddle, who now has challenged Russ Tanahashi for the television championship, and Nick Nemeth, who's challenging David Finlay for the Global Heavyweight Championship. And again, new beginning. We got Neverweight six-man tag. Tanahashi wins, probably made official. It will be Tanahashi, Okada, and Ishii taking on Kosei Fujita, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Haste. ELP and Hikuleo will be defending against Chase Owens and Kenta, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. That's February 11th, by the way, in Osaka. And we got the 5-on-5 steel cage match, United Fire vs. Bullet Club. Although I am curious if Francisco Akira is going to be a part of that. And is he going to be an X factor in that after what happened to him on New Year's Dash being tapped to death? So clearly his mentality's been shaken, and I think fear's been stirred in him. That's just a thought. And then February 23rd in Hokkaido, in Sapporo, we, of course, have the NWA World Television Championship, Russ Tanahashi versus Matt Riddle, and the Global Heavyweight Championship, David Finlay and Nick Nemeth. So it sounds like they're trying to do stuff ahead of the New Japan Cup, and we have no idea what the anniversary is going to be, but WrestleKingdom definitely showed us New Japan Pro Wrestling's in a state of trying to reshape the landscape. And they're trying, but whether or not they're succeeding, I think it's still too soon to tell. We're just in for a red ride with Naito at the helm. That's really what that comes down to. So
I'm definitely in the belief that we're in a transitional period.
Mm-hmm.
They can definitely turn it around.
Yeah. It's just a matter of how and with who. And again, if you got people like Matt Riddle, Nick Nemeth, Eddie Kingston, Julia on the strong side of things,
Jack Perry.
I'm about to say it. Well, the scapegoat, and I still don't know what the hell that means. Again, what's his intentions? Who's he with? Or is he rolling solo? Is he bringing in his own faction? What's going on there? You tell me. It's one of those things right now where a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling is kind of unknown. And I kind of like that, but I'm also kind of worried about that. Because usually at this time, we get at least a short-term idea of who to follow and what to expect. And right now, we kind of don't have that because, again, like you said, it's a transitional period and the pieces are still being put in place. And I still don't think they know which pieces to put in place. So we'll just have to wait and see. And as far as Battle in the Valley, great show. Go check it out. Again, congrats to everybody that was involved there. Jeff Prey, what the hell are you doing? Are you no longer with AEW? And Matt Riddle, bro. If Matt Riddle and spoiler alert for those that don't know who his mystery partner was, Jeff Cobb become a tag team once again in New Japan Pro Wrestling, watch out. That's all I gotta say about that. Seriously though, give Jeff Cobb a singles championship. How has this guy not been a champion since the Neverweight Championship?
Jeff Cobb is too damn good to be doing nothing, bro.
Yeah. And also, if they get Jacob Fatu part of this thing, I need Jeff Cobb versus Jacob Fatu. That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh God, that would be awesome.
Right? Good Lord. Well, that being said, guys, it's definitely a unique outlook we're set to basically think upon and see how it unfolds for New Japan Pro Wrestling, particularly for 2024. But this WrestleKingdom was definitely a different take, a different feel. But at the end of the day, a little bit of everything. It was a show. It was definitely a unique show. But bottom line, these three matches right here were definitely my biggest takeaways, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. Or four matches, excuse me. Thank you, Shingo Takagi. Forever be never. And that being said, guys, been a fun time, been a fun chat, been an absolute pleasure. Thank everybody for tuning in and enjoying this. Give us your takeaways towards all things Japanese pro wrestling, New Japan pro wrestling, Joshi Pro, in and out. We'll once again reconvene once we get, of course, our G1 Climax set up as is tradition. But until then, Casey, take care. And until the next time we reconvene, guys, stay strong spirited. And to everybody else, make a positive impact in life. And have a good night. And thank you for tuning in to this simple take on WrestleKingdom. Go Genjo, sayonara. Have a good night, folks. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.